Jay Thomas Show. Sirius XM 104. This is the Jay Thomas Show. The interesting, the odd, and the bizarre people behind the, interesting. The odd and bizarre stories. Jay gets in it, stirs it up, and spits it out. He's a professional. It's all here on the Jay Thomas Show with Rodney Lee Conover, Julie, Madison, Kevin Meaney, Garrett and Christina, and Ira the Weatherman. This is the Jay Thomas Show.
You're up. Garrett, we can't run this intro anymore. It's the stupidest, don't run it anymore. Just stop it. Just put something else on. I don't know what they're doing. We've told them 10 times. You can't, Madison.
We told the
I don't even know if
before.
she's even alive anymore. I haven't seen Madison in 6 months.
Well, we were working on it, and then someone isn't here anymore, and then the new person isn't here
Just
anymore.
get one of the other ones. Just get something that says, Jay Thomas or something. Don't you have that?
With Garrett and Christina.
Yeah, that's fine.
Meaney.
Whatever you want to do.
And
Whatever you
Julie
want to do. Just get another
Ira.
one. Have Furlot cut one. Whatever. You run it, don't you? You press the. Yeah, I mean it sounds it's ridiculous. It's like, that's none of those people are here they'll be around, but put all the can you edit out Madison?
No, it'll sound cut.
That's fine. I think it's hysterical. Have it go like that. Have it do that.
Okay.
In fact, you need to name everybody. You need to say guest production by Andrea Bushy and Art Sears. You need to do the whole deal. Let's do the whole, even the behind the scenes people.
All right.
And of course, our intern, and you have a pause. And if we have an intern, we yell his name or her name. If we don't, we go, not this time. So I want everyone on the damn thing. I want everyone who's in the background. Rodney and I, work every day on the show, but he's only here, every now and again.
It's going to be a long intro.
That's fine. We have 3 hours. Show's 3 hours long. That's what I would like to happen. That's not a directive because I've been told numerous times no one works for me and I can't, stop them from whatever they're doing. It's just a simple directive from a person who's been given, a modicum of power over his own radio show. That's all. How about this? Adam the Lobster Man. Add them all. Oh. Jeff Furlot.
Oh, boy.
The paper truck driver. Sure, all of it.
Paper truck.
Yes, all of it. I mean, are they not a part of the show? Of course they are. Who?
Phil Otto.
But mostly he's Friday morning, right? Mostly Friday morning. Maybe during the week. I don't know. I don't know where anything comes from. So why don't we, or have 2 promos? I don't care. I have 2 intros, but it sounds silly. That's all. I can hear that you guys don't want to do it.
But this intro with 75 people and it won't sound silly?
Yeah, no, it won't.
It's not that we don't want to do it. We can't do it. We can't get in touch with anyone that can help us do it. What are we supposed to do?
Do you know what people are thinking right now who are listening to this show? They're going, you can't get in touch with anyone at a multi-billion-dollar corporation who can help us.
True.
That's insane. What about the guy that did the voiceover? What about him?
He just does the voiceover.
Where is he?
I don't know. I don't even know his name. We're not in this loop. We just tell people what we need.
Who do you tell? Who is it? Who is the person?
Our boss.
We got a new guy this week. Right?
Yes.
But he's been there forever. And all you have to do is we'll write it out and we hand it to the voiceover guy and he just says it. That's all. He just talks about it.
And then who puts the music in the
Who did that before? Who did all that before?
Some production guy. I don't know. The production guy for our channel.
Okay, Christina, I'm going to give you a job, and this could be like you write a novel about this called "Who Runs This Place" and who makes the noises that you hear on the air.
Sequel
and
to Christina Palumbo.
Yeah. Would you please find out who it is?
Sure.
Please ask around. It'll give you something to do when you're smoking a cigarette out in front of that "Do Not Smoke" sign downstairs. Just find out who it might be. That's all. And we'll hand him the
Well, you
words.
can't do that. You have to fill out a production order.
I will do it all.
Okayed by your boss. And
I will do it all. You see, you live in fear. Okay, you live in fear.
I don't live in fear. I live in a bureaucratic, crappy place.
You work now. Wait a second. Now, you're saying the bureaucracy of Sirius XM is crappy. Now, I didn't go there with you on that one. Okay, I didn't go there, and I don't. I'm saying let's solve it in a positive way. That's what I'm saying, and I mean it.
Okay.
I want to prove something to you.
Thomas Show, what's your name?
I want to prove, and I mean this, I want to prove that things are not as dark as you think they are. That it may take some time, and we've certainly been talking about this for quite a while, but it'll get done. I'm telling you, it'll get done.
Okay. I believe it will get done.
There's a level, and not because, I hear Jay wants this thing done, and we better snap to it, because that's just not anything that anyone's ever said about me ever in this building, especially. Maybe at other places, but so we'll have to do it it'll be like raising a child. We want to beat these people. We'd like to beat them, but we won't be able to beat them. We'll have to compromise with them. We'll have to make deals with them. Much like I talked about child rearing. Was it just yesterday or the day before we talked about child rearing? That's right. This is going to be bureaucrat rearing. That's what we're going to be doing. So there you go. Now I know you don't believe, but Christina, you will find out who these people are. You will get me some names and some numbers. I won't do it on the air.
I just sent an email. It's out there.
Okay, but I need you to do some, physical, walking around work.
I will, but the thing is that the people that I would need to ask are not in this building
That's what
right
I'm saying.
now.
And they're gone
Where are
for
they?
3 weeks.
So they're gone, and you'll
Where'd they go?
be seeing them yourself. So right now, an email is the only thing that I.
You mean at the comedy festival that I'm going to?
They're
with
talent scouting.
Yeah. So an email.
Talent scouting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now here's another one. I heard they were talent scouting. I said, let me go. So I'm going to go and help them talent scout, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Say everyone's horrible.
Or pick shitty talent that can never replace us. Find a guy that's awful and go, this guy is exciting. This is new. What? He knows a few things about comedy. Maybe I'm telling you, this is the guy who will jump out of the radio. Talent scouting. So we can't just, and then what other one can you run? Is there another one more, like just says Jay Thomas or something? I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. Let's not belabor it. Do you press the button that makes it happen?
I do.
And can you replace the CD that has that on it? Or is it's an automatic? Don't we have something else? The Jay Thomas Show or something.
Oh, like we have the sweepers that go before the commercials.
Yeah, just open with a sweeper.
And then what song do you want?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. Just, have some... Look, they're out of town. They're not listening. So 3 weeks. Okay. We have 3 weeks. Listen, let's ask, for forgiveness and not permission. Let's just go in that direction. Okay? I mean... Really, how upset can they really get?
It's a great T-shirt.
That's a good point.
That's an old saying.
Yeah.
But here's the reality. Why? Why continue in a vein that's just boring? It's like Madison and this and it's just I think it'd be more fun. And how about if we do them really fast? We'll do it just like they do at the bottom of commercials when they go, I used to do that, and I don't know how I did it. I have no idea how I read all that stuff.
You read it, and then you hit play at 2 times speed.
No, that's not what we did.
Oh, wow.
Because it changed the timbre of your voice, and believe it or not, there is a union rule, an AFTRA union rule, that your voice and what it sounds like cannot be altered, one, without your permission, and I think it has to fit in to the whatever, the humor or whatever of the ad. If you're doing legal, that's called legal. you can't use a speeded up voice. It has to be done in a normal speaking voice that's just going really fast. You can edit out the breath, maybe. That's about it. But I used to do that. The way I would do it is I'd do the first 2 sentences and then stop. Then they'd edit the next 2 sentences. And I used to do it for DirecTV. That's when I did it. They'd have all these announcers working, and I'd come in there, and these guys, they'd have a really easy day. I'd be exhausted at the end of this legal thing. Hard work. Hard, fast. Remember John, whatever his name was? He talks really fast. John Fujita, something like that.
The Micro Machines guy.
Yeah, remember him? Yeah, that guy. I can't do it that fast, but for a short amount of time I can. It's like he can hold his breath for 2 or 3 minutes or whatever. I'm 25 seconds. Like if we were underwater divers.
I got you.
Yeah, my son comes to me today and he goes, "Hey, you know the deepest guy that ever dove on one breath?" And, I'm sitting in the living room going, "Gee, no." What is, gee, never thought about it. He goes 150 feet he went down. One breath. I went, wow. He said, but then there's another guy that went down 750 feet with one breath. Now I said, how did he do that? He said they had a rope, and then they pushed him down with something, and then he was lifted back up with an air bladder. So and he held one breath, 750 feet. This is the conversation I'm having.
You didn't get the bends?
I didn't want to get into a big discussion about it, to be honest. Yeah. 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out which parts are going to work properly, that kind of thing, And no, I didn't ask about the bends. I don't. That's when you come up real fast and you get too much. Nitrogen or something in your bloodstream? Or hydrogen in your something in your bloodstream. Yeah. Something poisons you. Let's go to Jeff for a lot. Jeff, we're having a discussion. We don't need your half a cent.
Okay. I just was offering my services.
I'm sure you were. You're not a part of this company, and you can't offer any services.
Why do you got to turn it around on me like that? You mentioned my name. I said I'll do it. Save the red tape and all the crap that you got to go through. Just tell me what song you need, and I'll put it together and who you want on.
Now, what happens, Garrett, if we put him on at the top of the hour? What happens?
Nothing.
We'll just let him do it then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I tell you what, Jeff, send me a few of them so that we can hear them first. So we're not just going to run this, out of hand. So,
no,
and I'd like all the names or whatever. Let at least maybe it'll give us a starting point. Okay.
Okay.
You know what? Very good offer. Thank you very much. You see that?
All right, done deal.
Instead of
all
beating him, now I'm treating him like a child. Very good offer. Okay. And then, of course, as soon as you walk away from your child, you roll your eyes and go, what an idiot, All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. You still there? Okay. See you later. Thank you so much. Let's go to George of Pennsylvania. Hello, George. It's Jay Thomas. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Why don't you get the guy that does a Jack in the Box commercial to do it for you?
All right. Get rid of him.
Terrible.
Don't need that. Don't need it.
He has a nice voice.
I hate that guy. But then I love the commercial that they run about, you may now eat the bride when the guy married the bacon cheeseburger. That was funny. Lou Ferrigno, who used to be the Hulk, and he's on Celebrity Apprentice. Is that the one with Donald Trump?
Yeah,
correct.
Teresa Giudice is on this episode.
All right.
With the Real
Teresa
Housewives.
who?
The one that flips the table on Real Housewives. This is going to be the first time I ever watched Celebrity Apprentice.
Okay, and so you're watching it because there's a fellow feminine Goomba is on there?
Victoria Gotti is on there.
As an Italian woman, wouldn't you think that these people are bad for the image of Italian American women?
No, not at all. It's strictly entertainment.
What about The Godfather? Did your dad think that was a bad thing for the Italians? No. Okay. A lot of people did. I want to tell you that right now. A lot of people thought.
We're not, we're American.
You don't even
we don't take it
know
personally.
Those kind of people, do you? That kind of trash.
Yeah, we don't take it personally.
I got you. So you'll watch it because the Goomba's wife is on it, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Let's go to Art of Orlando, Florida. Yes, Art? Jay Thomas. Yes, sir.
Hey, I got an idea for your intro.
Sure.
All you got to do is open up, say, the Jay Thomas Show with a bunch of fucking people. Who knows who's going to show up?
All right, you hear that? You hear that, Furlot? A bunch of fucking people. Who knows who's going to show up? Okay.
But definitely Garrett and Christina always show up.
Well, I don't know about that. Sometimes you're not
true.
there. Thank you, Art, very much. Thank you. Garrett always shows up.
Yeah.
So it ought to be the Jay Thomas Show like this. The Jay Thomas Show with Garrett Andritz, and then the rest of them like this. And Christina.
That's not fair, because when I'm sick, you still call me at home, and I'm on my deathbed, and I'm talking to you on the phone. So I only call out if I'm absolutely dying, and then you call to make sure that I'm dying.
Or you have a.
Well, you don't want to get.
Well, I mean, I have a.
You don't want to
get.
You don't want to get your early morning boyfriend upset. Is the reality? Let's be honest.
What?
That's the guy you care about. The early morning boyfriend. Yeah. Mr. Who made you his sidekick because you're so political and smart. Oh, my God.
Goddamn genius.
We were dying laughing, all of us in the coffee room at that one. Right, Garrett? Holding each other up.
Coffee room? You don't even work here.
I do. I know.
No, you don't.
I say, hey, what about Christina being this big Politico in the morning? We all went, and we had to hold people up. People actually came in to administer to others.
You sound so...
No, I mean, look, you're
Negative.
a nice person,
Negative
and
Nancy.
you've certainly moved a little bit further than you had been, but that you're this Politico in the morning.
I'm
is
not a
pretty funny.
That's not what I do at all.
Yeah, thank you, Garrett. I love Garrett. Yep, oh yeah, yep. Let's go to Don of Massachusetts. Yes, Don. By the way, also the singer Storm Large. My Vagina is 8 miles wide. That's a hit song, I tell you that. Don, go. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that song, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
That's
hey, I got a question to ask you.
Sure.
When you're doing your intro, do you think I can get my name in there, too?
You want your name? Furlot, Don of Massachusetts. Put his name in there. Okay? All right. Yeah. What?
See ya.
All right, bye-bye. Don of Massachusetts. Yeah, but I think Adam the Lobster Man ought to be in there, don't you? No?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then what if we don't hear from him for a little while?
Well, we haven't heard from Madison in a year and a half. 2 years makes no difference. So we ought to have Madison do the intro.
We were going to have Christina do it, but that...
No, that's over.
Yeah.
That's over. She's, I'll tell you why. Because she talks nasty talk on one of the other channels, and I can't have that image over here. I'm not joking.
I agree.
I can't have that kind of image. Now, this woman, Storm Large, that has sung "My Vagina is 8 miles wide," is she the writer of this song?
It is her song.
She wrote it. So she's this lovely woman who has sung this, I don't know what you want to call it, naughty song, sexual song, bawdy, something like that, right?
Yes, but every other song she has on her album is nothing like it.
Totally normal.
It's not like funny. There's no innuendo or they're just regular good songs, except for this one song in the middle of her album.
Well, that's what we'll ask her. What's going? Now, of course, this just goes to prove, there you are, and you are trying everything, and then you sing some song about a 8 mile wide vagina, and of course you get a million
Well, apparently
hits.
she was famous already because she was on some show, Rockstar, some reality show.
Right. Okay.
CBS Rockstar Supernova. And she made it to the finals, but I don't know anyone that saw it.
Is that her name, Storm Large? That's her real name?
Suzanne Storm Large.
That's an odd name, isn't it? Storm Large.
Well,
it'd be like being, Alice Big Ass, It just, the word large,
her mom wasn't mentally sane.
That's what she says in her bio? Her mother wasn't mentally sane?
Yeah, in her book. And, she...
Wow. So we're opening up a real can of worms here.
She had sex her first time at 13 and then became a heroin addict.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah. This is like a surprise secret guest. When I was doing all the info, I was like, oh, my God.
Her vagina really is 8 miles wide.
Yeah.
Well, why would you say that?
Well, 13.
Why would you say
She's
that?
got plenty
I think
of
that's what she was singing about.
Now, what about Lou Ferrigno? Have you found anything about him that besides the fact that he's deaf? Yeah, he's deaf.
What?
We knew that. Lou Ferrigno, years ago, he came into our studio or whatever, and I'm fooling around with him and everything else, and I noticed he wasn't reacting. And so later on, I said to someone, what was that all about? This is, back in L.A., and they said, well, you need to speak right at him because he's deaf. And I said, that's impossible. He's on TV. I'd never even heard. That's before you knew everything about people.
Yeah.
So we're doing this on the phone, right? How in the world can he hear us on the phone? Is it going to be my voice becomes some sort of like a internet voice to him or something?
Well, I had my first girlfriend was deaf.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was.
Have you ever told me this before?
I'm not sure.
I don't think you ever have. You met a girl who could not hear and talk like that?
Correct, yes. In
And
grade.
what made you want to fall in love with her? What
she
was
pursued me.
Process?
We were on a school trip to Boston, and she had her friend say that she really liked me, and we should sit together on the bus on the way home.
Did her friend do it in sign language?
No, she could read lips. So when I called her, you would have to go through an operator, the TTY thing.
I remember I've had calls from people like that.
And you would talk, and then when you were finished, you would say, go ahead. And then you hear,
oh, wow.
And then she would type back, and then her operator would go, oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, I told you about this one day a long time ago. I was minding my own business, and my cell phone rings. And it says, an operator, a woman says, I have a call from, Bobby somebody or other. And I go, what? And she goes, Bobby, I'm on the whatever that is. What is it, TTY?
Yeah, I think so, TTY. Yeah.
TTY. I'm a TTY operator, and Bobby is hearing impaired or something. So I go, yeah, hello, Bobby. And he goes, hi. And she says, hi, I'm Bobby. I'm a fan of yours. I listen to your show and go through this whole thing. So I said, really, Bobby, how did you get my phone number? And then Bobby, through this operator lady, I think I told you this, Garrett. This operator lady says, a friend gave it to me who knows that I'm a fan of yours. And he starts asking me these, fanny kind of questions. And I go, and the woman says, a friend of yours who knew I was a big fan. And now I'm realizing this operator's got to know that I'm not happy, right? And so he asked me some question, and she goes, so what was it like on the cast of Cheers, she says. I go, ask Bobby who the friend is that gave him my phone number, right? So Bobby won't deal with me. So finally, I said to this woman, tell Bobby to go fuck himself in one of his ears. And the woman says to me, do you really want me to say that?
Really?
And I go, yes, I'd like you to repeat it. And she goes, go fuck yourself in one of your good ears, or whatever it was. She sends it to him. He asked me another ridiculous question, right? Right? So then I send back, look, whoever hits you in the head to cause you to be not just deaf, but completely stupid, okay, did not do a good enough job. And she has to say this to this guy. By the time she came back to me, she was shaking. I could hear her voice shaking because he kept saying to me, I wasn't hit in the head, but I'm a big fan of yours. And then, finally I just hung up. They have to write back whatever. So let's say the person's deaf and you're divorcing them. And you're having a phone conversation.
Yeah.
You low-life bitch. Right. So now the little girl says, Melinda likes you, whatever the little girl's name is.
Debbie. It was Debbie.
Debbie. And then were you excited by that news?
Well, I was, a little nervous about it because she was deaf, and you're in school and you don't want any abnormalities at all.
Yeah. Did she have a nice, pleasant look about her?
Yeah, she was very attractive.
And she liked you?
She did, yeah. She put the feelers out for me.
Wow. And that's what they have to be sometimes. Oh, that's for blind people. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. That was an honest mistake. So she puts feelers out for you, and then her go-between. And so how do you, get together? Not that you consummated it. You were children, of course. But did you go to her home? What was the first moment that you were alone?
Oh, alone? Yeah, I think I had my mom drop her off at her house. Because we went to the same school district, so we were sort of close.
Her mom dropped her off?
My mom dropped me off at her house.
Did you say, hey, Mom, she's deaf?
I think so. Yeah, she knew.
And did your mom say you're being nice to
No, not,
the deaf person?
It was just like no one really cared.
So you walk through the door, and she can't squeal or anything with excitement. I mean, she
could talk. She could talk to you.
Was it that kind of Marley Maitland kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to get used to that?
Pretty much right away. It wasn't like that big of a thing, I don't know.
Wow.
Because I was more into, holy crap, I'm at a girl's house and she actually likes me. And
this was your first girlfriend?
First girlfriend, yeah.
Did you ever make out?
Yeah. I used to count how many times we French kissed and then go home and tell my friend what number we were up to.
Wow.
And then one time we were in
Wait a minute now. Normally a friend, you kiss 2 or 3 passionate times, and they're elongated, but you would count what? There's a length to each kiss.
Like each time I put my tongue in her mouth kind of thing.
What was the most times?
I don't remember what I got up to. I'm not sure if I broke 100.
Did she ever give you this classic sign when the hearing impaired person takes their right hand and then wipes their mouth like this to mean that there's slobber all over me? I don't know if you know. I speak, of course, sign language, but it's this like that,
Well, one time
slobber.
she we used to hang out in her furnished basement, and she was like, I have to write you a note, and she went upstairs and wrote a note and came back down. And it said, do you want to kiss me on the neck? And I thought that was like a little too much, and I got freaked out, and I said no. So we just stayed to kissing on the mouth. I think she wanted to like really further the intimacy, but I wasn't.
Well, the play, the play that became also the movie that Marley Maitland won the Academy Award. Gosh darn it! What's
Piano?
the name? But no. It was a play on Broadway that was a culmination of stories about deaf people. And my dad had told me this too. My dad actually taught at the Texas State School for the Deaf when he was in college, and for a long time they considered people that couldn't talk less intelligent and stuff, and they were kind of held back and all this other stuff, but obviously not true. They just couldn't talk. The football coach, when my dad was the teacher, he would punish the kids by having a guy clip them from behind. Now, of course, you're deaf, so you can't even brace yourself because you can't hear the guy. I mean, yeah, they treat him horribly, but Marley Maitland's thing was she was very promiscuous because she was insecure, and I believe in the play, they talked about that too. Yeah, I mean, Marley Maitland she wanted to be promiscuous, right? Why not?
I remember one time she told me her older sister, who was, we were 7th grade. I don't know how old that is, 12 or something. But her sister was like 17, 18, and she told me how her sister had sex, and she kind of was like inferring that we should.
Wow.
Yeah, but I pussy like that.
Wow. You had it laid, you're just like me. I had it laid in my lap. I couldn't do a thing. Just like me, couldn't do a thing. It just was too, it's what bad guys did.
The French kissing was still awesome every time I did it. It was so new. You were like, that's why right. Even push the limits? Let's just go until this.
Christina, you're hearing two men right now speak intimately about how they were, really good people from the very beginning. The very beginning.
That's right.
It is very touching and
it should
informative.
Be. I bet you your boyfriend would have just been ramming her.
Finger banging her right away.
Yeah, from behind, Seeing how, and he called his friend, I made her grunt 8 times. I made her yell, I'm coming, twice. Yeah, ask him.
Okay,
ask him.
Yeah, sure.
Guys are always bragging. Find the name of the movie.
Picket Fences?
No, God, no. That's about a black family with James Earl Jones.
Reasonable Doubt?
No. It was the play, and then it became a movie.
Children of a Lesser God?
Children of a Lesser God, yes. And in the movie, William Hurt was in the movie, I believe. He starts a relationship with Marley, right? And he's a nut. Great actor, but everybody's always said he was a complete nut. So a friend of mine was doing a play with William Hurt, and we go to this apartment and everything that he had, and we go to this after show party, and she said Marley is not going to be there, but he's there. He had wired the entire house with lights. Like when the phone rang, a light would come on in every room. And I think he had a weekend home, too. Wires the whole place with lights and special stuff. And, if he needed to call her or whatever, there was a white light that showed it was him, whatever. And as soon as he installed all of that stuff, he broke up with her. Yeah, that's what I remember. And then she married a cop from Burbank. And they've been married and have, kids, and, she's from Chicago, and she still acts in movies and stuff. She was in some movie where, she just talked, right? It was kind of disturbing her. She was a friend of Cameron Diaz or somebody, But she was really attractive. It is still really attractive. Children of a Lesser God. That's right. Big Broadway thing. Let's go to John of Ontario. What a heartwarming story. It does. It gives you a deeper insight, doesn't it, John, into who we might be.
John, are you talking to me, Jay?
I am talking to you, yes.
Well, I got the name wrong, but that's okay. But with deaf people, since they're, just like blind people, since their other senses are more attuned, when Garrett would have given her the money shot, do you think it would have tasted better for her? Or?
All right, get him off of this. Where have these people come from? What is this?
It's a logical question.
No, it isn't. The money shot, that's not a discussion.
Well, more the question was, is her taste heightened?
Because she's deaf? Yeah. I don't think so. No. It would taste more disgusting, I would think. I mean, we're talking about something that is disgusting. Let's be honest. You can make it into any kind of, strawberry-flavored, yogurt you want to. But it's not right. Anyway, so we have Lou coming up in just a few minutes, right? We'll go to break and then come back, and he'll call us. Yes. And he'll talk about Celebrity Apprentice and being the Hulk, and does he still work out? Have his testicles shriveled yet? We have a lot of questions for him. Stay where you are.
Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Upset Daisy. Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Put it in, pull it out, put it in again.
This is Storm Large?
Yeah.
I thought you said her other songs were...
Well, this one is a little, but...
Well...
But it's not like a joke. Like 8 Miles Wide is like a comedy song.
Put it in, pull it out, put it in again. Oh. You know what? Maybe we'll use this as our intro music.
I don't...
Yeah, put it in, pull it out. Whatever it is. Wow. Okay.
We should have this
all of our other songs are so nice. Really.
In the middle, we should just have Ira go, booyah.
Yeah. I was thinking about Ira yesterday. Does he have any idea what he ever says? I don't know. No. You know, how bad is that? I don't know. Should we worry about it? Waiting for Lou Ferrigno, the Celebrity Apprentice is coming on with that Donald Trump.
He's on.
Oh, he is? Hey, Lou, it's Jay Thomas.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. We going over the first of all, let's talk about Celebrity Apprentice. Have you already done it? Has it started already? I mean, give us the full details.
Well, we finished, and the grand finale is May 20th.
Now, Christina Palumbo here is only interested in that mob wife that's on that show.
And who?
No, Teresa Giudice and Victoria Gotti.
Yeah, they were nice.
Now they are mob, ex-mob people. Do you worry at all, Lou, if you say something to them or put them down that 6 months after the show's over, they may put a hit out on you?
No, not really. I think the other people have to worry about them. I was fine. I mean, Victoria,
he's the Hulk.
You know, she was nice. Teresa, I love Teresa. I mean, they were sweet as they can be. I didn't have a problem with anybody.
You consider these two women sweet?
Well, you put it this way, there was a lot of catfights on the show with the women because, women a different story, and that's something remains to be seen.
Well, I tell you what, if Donald Trump fires you, please, for all of us, kick his ass, would you please? Please.
No.
I'd love to see someone just pick him up and at least do a thing where you twirl him around in the air and make it look like you're going to, throw him. Could you do that?
I was thinking about it.
There you go. I would like that. All right. So tell us, on Celebrity Apprentice, you have to figure out a business and you have to make the business work, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, and then you have to actually go out and make it happen. So Can you tell us anything about what your business is?
Well, I can't go in detail about the show, but I just know that we had 3 boardrooms a week. We had different tasks. We had to present to the executive. The next morning, then we were back in the boardroom, and it was a lot to do with branding. It was a lot of viral viral show for the computer. A lot of them. One of the show was the Renaissance show, and that was fantastic. So it was different. And the thing is that you had to constantly be alert and able to know how to brand and work as a team player. And it was tough.
Yeah, Jay, what is it? Every week they get a new challenge. It's not like they try to build one business throughout the season.
Three times a week.
Okay, but
3 times a week.
And you rotate as like project leaders and supervisors, right?
Well, Monday we had a project. We do the job, the whole prepare for the tax. We do the presentation Tuesday morning, then Tuesday afternoon in the boardroom, and then we're back Wednesday morning with a new project given to us by Donald Trump.
So Lou Ferrigno on Celebrity Apprentice. Now, Lou, one of the sad things that's happened is Michael Jackson. You were working him out before his death. I haven't even seen this written about. What kind of shape did you think he was in? A lot of people talk about what kind of shape he was in before he passed away. You were right there with him. What did you think?
Well, Michael was fine, even though he may have been a little lighter in body weight because he was under a lot of stress. But the way he moved, I mean, he was fine for me, and I think he was going to pull it off. You got to remember one thing: if I felt like if he was out of shape, if he was inadequate, if he couldn't able to perform, I would have stopped him right there. But
okay.
But he just, unfortunately, it's just the OD, whatever I heard through the news.
Okay, but as far as you know, he was in good shape.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And a lot has been said about, steroids and, even our governor, did you competed against Schwarzenegger? Did you not? Yeah, and of course the famous movie y'all made and everything else. I mean, that was a part of it, and you probably didn't know the side effects or whatever. Is that over in your life now, or there are some people that say, well, if steroids are used properly, they can be safe.
Well, I don't believe in drugs, but drugs, something like steroids, we do under a doctor's care because sometimes you have a hormone problem, you have a low testosterone, which is legal. That's understandable with a doctor. But, people that make a personal choice on their own, I think is pretty wrong on that part because there's a combination of that, recreation, drugs. But, if you're doing it under a doctor's care, you're fine. It's up to the doctors.
Now, what about, like, as I've gotten older, I mean, I used to have, my chest was always, easy to build. It's starting to droop faster after a workout. Is there something I can take that lifts my, gets my man boobs tighter? What would you suggest?
How old are you?
I don't ever tell anyone my age, but I'm probably older than you.
Well, I'm 60. Of course, that if you work out, if you do a lot of flies, a lot of stretching, you can maintain
still do that. Really? Okay.
Yeah, but
so you and I are close to the same age. If I just do a lot of flies and a lot of stretching, so your tits never sagged.
No, because I constantly do a lot of bend over pullovers. I do a lot of pullovers. If you do a lot of pullovers, it could slow down the problem, because you got to learn to embrace the aging problem. Of course, it's going to droop a little bit, but you can slow it down with a lot of pullovers.
Okay, I was thinking, do you recommend the male breast implants?
No.
No. Okay.
No, you don't need that.
No, you don't need that. All right. So, sometimes they'll take the fat from your ass or something and put it in your boobs.
I don't know. That if you work out hard enough, you don't need it. If you want to do that,
well, that's the hard part, Lou. The working out hard and everything else, So, okay, all right. Well, Lou Ferrigno, have a great time on Celebrity Apprentice.
Is it guys versus girls again this year?
What's that again?
Is it guys versus girls in Apprentice?
Yeah. Guys, and then the guys mixed with the girls. But the girls are very dramatic this year. It's going to be a wild, crazy, emotional show, and I caused a lot of drama myself.
Does Lisa Lampanelli get emotional and crazy?
Mm-hmm.
She does.
Who's the lightning rod, like Star Jones last year, or?
I bet it's Clay Aiken.
Well, Arsenio Hall had the lightning rod.
Oh, wow. All right.
Now, do you cry, Lou?
Yeah, you see me crying on the show.
No, come on.
Yes.
It
On
really
Celebrity
hit you that
Apprentice,
hard, huh?
wait a minute. On Celebrity Apprentice, you cry on that show? That
Yeah.
Oh,
Meatloaf cried last year.
Yeah.
Meatloaf cried last year.
It's very stressful.
I cry like a baby. Yeah.
Come on. All right, now wait. I got to watch it now. This is because that's the hardest acting you can do, pretending to cry. And
Well,
I don't want to say anything, Lou.
It had a lot to do with my charity, and I cried because I was very proud and very happy about that situation.
Okay, good. All right.
And how?
What is the?
Oh, sorry.
What is the charity?
Muscular dystrophy.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right, go ahead, Garrett. Go ahead.
How hard was it compared to what you thought it was going to be? Because I heard a lot of celebrities think it's going to be a few hours every day, and then all of a sudden it's like 20-hour days nonstop.
Well, to me, the work was not a problem, easy. The hardest thing for me was enduring the boardroom, being honest, and you never know what Donald's going to throw at you, and you never know what the team player is going to say about you. That's the hardest part. It's like a strategy. It's like going to trial.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Okay. Well, Lou, thanks very much for your honesty. Good luck with the show. And have they made, who played the Hulk in the movie version? Who did that? What actor?
Bill Bixby.
No, the movie, the modern movie version.
Oh, the new Avenger coming out is Mark Ruffalo. I just did the voice for the Hulk last week.
Right, you're the voice of it, but who's the physical person that's going to be in it?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
God forbid.
Good
like a little skinny. Yeah, but he's a little skinny guy. Please. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. But you're in the voice. You do the voice. Right.
Yeah.
Can you do the voice one time before we go? Just one.
I can't. It'll be a surprise. You have to see it on the screen.
All right, thank you. Are you going to do it like that? All right, Lou Ferrigno, thank you. Celebrity Apprentice, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou. There you go. He sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
And part my girlfriend.
And part your old girlfriend. Did it bring back some memories for you?
A little bit.
He takes everything very seriously.
Did you? Well, yeah, well... That's one way of putting it. We had a guest on. Do you have that? We had a guest on a long time ago, and then yesterday, of course, I read about Noel Biederman, who has the Ashley Madison and all that stuff, right? But we had a guest on after that. Lee somebody or other, and he has this sugar daddy deal. So down in Miami, the university It's Florida International University. They have a record for the most women going to college via sugar daddies. That's got to be bad for enrollment. That's just got to be. And there's this news report from Miami that they go online, they don't have enough money for, college, tuition, whatever, and they get set up by a sugar daddy. You have the report, Garrett?
Yeah.
We had this guy on.
A growing trend that proves just how expensive getting a college education has become. Young women are looking for help to pay for college from complete strangers. CBS 4's George Estevez shows you what these 20-year-olds may be giving these so-called sugar daddies in return.
People looking for the perfect match, both men and women online seeking a certain kind of arrangement. The players, a sugar baby, typically younger and eager for adventure, and a sugar daddy, usually an older, financially established provider. This 22-year-old's online, a Miami student looking for someone to help her through school. Then a self-proclaimed cute blonde looking for fun in Fort Lauderdale. This pretty young Miami college student is 22. She's more direct, asking for $10,000 to $20,000 monthly.
What have they given you?
Cars, trips, they've given me jewelry.
What do these guys do for you?
They support you.
Financially.
Support proving to be crucial for this 20-year-old sugar baby who's in college at FIU.
Have they paid your tuition?
Yes, tuition itself. Books, everything.
In fact, her profile asks for someone to help a young'un out. And she's not alone. In the past 6 months, FIU ranked 20th in a list of the top universities with sugar baby signups. Our FIU student points out, in addition to the gifts, she is gaining life experience from influential people.
Meeting different people, affluent people that are so into their profession and, they're high up there and you just want to learn from them.
But with every give, there's a take.
They give you trips, they pay for school, They give you presents. What do you give them?
Sex.
Sex.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And you're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
But SeekingArrangement.com, which began in 2006, insists they are not an escort service. I spoke with founder Brandon Lee.
Why is this not like prostitution?
Well, we don't allow escorts or prostitutes to use the website. Those are what I term 1 or 2 hour arrangements. That's not what this is about.
In fact, the website monitors profiles. They claim they shut down as many as 20 a day for alluding to inappropriate behavior.
Hourly rate, in-call, out-call, terms like that are sort of, we kind of highlight them and we catch them.
And we put that question on the table for our sugar baby.
I say that's not true. Prostitution is that you get paid for sex, and that's just it. For this, you build a relationship with someone.
A relationship that begins online with hopes of a promising future.
10, 15 years from now, you're successful. What do you say to you about doing this?
I say good job for actually wanting to do something that'll get you far in life.
A match between 2 consenting adults looking for their own special arrangement.
Wow. And consenting adults are interested in this website. With more than 1,000 signups a day, the website is going global, adding languages and creating a mobile app for your phone.
It's like an ad, right, Garrett?
George Estevez, CBS 4 News.
I know a girl that
It's like an ad for the website.
So old-fashioned.
Yes.
But I've talked to a lot of people talking about the story that they're okay with it. But
my God.
I don't know what to say after that. I'm sorry, Elliot. I can't help you. Okay.
It was like a commercial for the website. They must have had and the woman sounded a little deaf to me, Garrett.
A little bit.
Now
Either
today everybody's going to sound deaf to you.
It was either a Hispanic accent or a little deaf. Give them sex. Like that. So, Christina.
Well, they might have been masking her voice a little, too.
No, they weren't.
Oh.
They were not.
I know a girl that...
They masked her face.
She was a waitress, and she got a guy to pay for her school, and she got her master's even, and he paid for it. And she swears that there's nothing sexual going on, but I can't imagine anybody would ever pay that much money for somebody to... But she just met him, she picked him up, she was waitressing, she was waiting on him, and he was like, hey, you want to go to college?
That's a lie.
I worked with her. I was there. I saw it all happen.
And why did he give her the money?
She claims and he claims that he always wanted a daughter and he wants to be able to give something back. But she was always kind of a little whore. So I would assume that there's
She was
something.
lying to you. Well, that's good. Let her lie. That's cool. I think that's all right to lie. That's okay. You don't need to know everything about these people.
I suppose not.
Right.
Even
you don't need to know.
Your masters?
What do you mean?
That's expensive.
No, it was unbelievable. It's like
4 years to college and then, your masters.
Yeah, it's no good. I mean, and you just said she was a little whore.
It's a lot of dick sucking.
Oh my! Now you see, you had to throw that in there for all of your trucker fans, didn't you? You know
that's exactly what it is.
No, you really are. You're becoming a naughty little thing, aren't you? You really are going.
Have you known me since we first met?
Naughty
I think
little
it's always been
thing.
like that, if I recall.
Garrett, I'm
correctly.
correct about this.
Branding herself a whole new.
Yeah, I'm branding myself.
You are.
I'm gonna brand you
No, you are.
Bitch.
You are branding yourself some sort of little piece of chicken, and go ahead. It's fine with me.
What do you mean, some sort of piece of chicken?
Little piece of chicken.
Delicious chicken.
Piece of meat.
You hear what you just did?
Like a
you hear what you
chicken
just did?
McNugget. Like a chicken McNugget.
Oh, do you hear the way you're saying it? Even the way you're saying it
chicken
is naughty.
makes me happy.
Yeah,
one day, when we're no longer working together,
welcoming bite of
Garrett
chicken.
and I are going to be sitting down and no telling what movie Christina's going to come up in, Garrett. Okay?
I hear
you know what it's going to be called? Satellite Girl. Okay? The exciting women of satellite radio.
I like that
By the way,
we're watching movies together.
We will be. We'll be friends
up.
forever.
How cute, your bro.
Well, we will. We'll have one of those snugglies.
Don't shut me out here, okay?
Who does that? Playboy does that? We need satellite, women of the satellite radio world.
Call me crazy, 'cause I am, and alive, and alive. That's the way I turn a nosedive into flight. Call me psycho.
So this is the same woman that sings My Vagina's 8 Miles Wide, Storm Large. And the other song, Put It In, Take It Out, Put It In Again, Take It Out, Put It In. Put it in, take it out. Yeah, someone said, is that about sex? I go, no, it's the person that's OCD. Yeah. Put it in, take it out, put it in. That's all. Let's go to Jim of Georgia. Yes, Jim, it's Jay Thomas. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about a medical study I saw on monkeys. Can we talk about that?
I don't know. What's it about? You're calling from Georgia. It could be some horrifying, racially inappropriate.
No. They hooked up electrodes to their brains, and they did a test. The monkey would hit the lever, and then it would get a treat, and it would measure its dopamine levels. So that dopamine makes you happy and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So after he'd get his treat, it would shoot up. So what they did, they put a random variable so that only 50% of the time he would get a treat. So sometimes he would get it, and the other times he wouldn't. And the dopamine level shot up like 1,000% because the uncertainty. It would be like, holy shit, am I going to get it? Did I do something wrong? So that's how people who believe in God, it's the uncertainty of God is what makes them pursue him, because they don't know for sure if he's there or not.
Did you call just to completely bore the shit out of us, or are you going somewhere with this? Because this is boring.
It goes to the point of, when you would go pick up your cocaine, going to pick it up was the best part. That was the best part, is actually going to get it. And then after you did it,
Jim, I got to tell you something. Look. I'm sure you have no friends whatsoever. You are boring. You are uninteresting, and and I'm just going to be honest with you. You should really take a really hard look at what you think is the personality, okay? Because you don't have one. All right. And the laugh. Oh, that's a nice laugh too. Hey, by the way, where are the girls' bodies buried, Jim? You've got to tell someone. Please tell someone. All right. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Of course they are. Get rid of him. When you go into a bar, there are, and look, I have friends that can do this. I have an accountant that can do this. They can go into a bar they can sit at the bar, order a drink, and talk to all of these assholes at the bar and stay there for hours. And, or look straight ahead at that mirror behind the bar. That's the kind of people you meet in a bar, that guy right there. I can't sit in a bar for 5 minutes. I get my drink, sit by myself, have a friend of mine with me or whatever, but the sitting in the bar and these conversations, that to me, and what keeps bars open are because there are more people like that than there are, interesting people. The sitting at the bar people. Can you do that, Garrett? Sit at the bar and just kind of...
No way. Make new friends at the bar?
Oh, and hear all the discussions, and CNN is on, or Fox is on, or a ball game is on. There's a big discussion about, the whole deal. Oh, yeah.
No, thanks.
No. I can't either.
They'll just annoy me, yeah.
Right. Let's go to Alan of Canada. Yes, Alan, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, how are you, bud?
We're good, thanks.
Can't Furlot do the sweeper for you guys?
Who?
Furlot, Jeff Furlot.
No, he's not a professional. No, he's not professional.
He's not
No, he's not professional. No, you can't have him do it because we've got a hierarchy here, bureaucratic hierarchy that Garrett's trying to wade through. And I've sent Christina on a mission now, only if it's, comes from the higher ups can he do it. But, he's not sweeper boy. He can make one, maybe we'll use pieces of it as a suggestion. But otherwise, no, he's not professional. Okay? Even though we're non-union, he's lower than non-union. I don't know how you get lower than non-union, but he is.
Well, Christina's got voiceover experience.
I think below non-union is slave.
You know what, Alan? I don't need your fucking advice. How's that sound? Okay? think of something.
Jay doesn't want to be associated with my voice.
How about another serial killer laugh? How many of those can we hear in one day? That's another dangerous. No, but really, I mean it. All these unsolved mysteries, I believe this guy, Jim of Georgia and Alan of Canada, I would make these guys suspects immediately. Listen to that.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, bye-bye. Did you hear that? Yeah, and they're into the negative, and they're into the, the weird. Man. Creepy. I mean it. I'm a little creeped out by it, what I just heard. Those are two very dangerous sounding individuals. Do you ever get creeped out, Garrett, by these people?
No.
Because
I'll never come in contact with them.
Wow, you might. How about the deaf guy that found my phone number? That poor operator, she'll never recover from me telling the deaf guy to stick his dick in one of his good ears.
I wonder how much legal defense they have. Can you do a drug deal over those lines and they can't say anything? It's got to be like doctor-patient type of confidential.
She cursed, I know that, and she was deadpan. It was like making a plane reservation with one of these, robots from India. They have no personality, and their voices are always like this. I go, I would like to go from Los Angeles to New York. Los Angeles, California? Yes. New York City, New York? Yes. How many passengers? Me, one. You will be the only passenger? I swear to God. After a while, you want to go, okay, please, send me to someone in Ohio. Please. That's what they ought to do. If you become in the top tier of these flight clubs, the frequent flyer clubs, they ought to say on there, free baggage, upgrade possibilities, get in line first, and you get to speak to an American on the reservation line. I would pay $125 a year for the right to speak to an American. Someone who gets our idioms, our slang, something.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
They don't have that?
They don't have that. You can't say that's against the law for some reason. It's some sort of discrimination. Because they speak English, it's some sort of discrimination. I don't know what it is.
You couldn't say, and then elite customer service?
Very good. Oh, my. Oh, man. My goodness. You have done it again. You're soaring past Christina. It's such a battle for top position.
Well, is there any doubt? I mean, really.
Let's go to James of Delaware. I have no idea. That would be discriminatory. James of Delaware. You know what I've done just now? I have an office door that I can see. I put a little crack in the door. I don't know why. I kind of closed it prematurely, and there's a little crack in it. I'm so paranoid. I keep thinking I see someone staring into the door. Isn't that weird? I'm going to have to go close it here in a minute. It's weird. That's how frightened I am. And I have the mace is like on the desk. I can't get to it in time. You know. I'm going to kill you, Joker. Joker man. Yes, James. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Hold on. I can't stand it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow. My puffin putter is behind the door. I found my puffin putter. I never close that door. My puffin putter, where you put the pot in there and then you putt. Oh, God. I'm so happy right now. I'm going to play golf. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I just wanted to say, Jay, that was an excellent interview you had with Mr. Frigg.
Well, I think I asked him all the pertinent questions. He said the thing about Michael Jackson. He said he wept like a baby during the thing. And then the man tits thing, keep doing the flies and all that. That's bullshit. You gotta put something in there. He's full of shit. He probably has some sort of, man fun bags up in there. I'm telling you. It goes.
The only thing I couldn't understand, it was hard for me to decipher between when Lou was speaking and when Garrett was speaking. They sound so much alike, the pair.
Well, Garrett has a little bit of the deaf person in him, we just found out. Hey, whatever happened to that girl, Garrett? Go on Facebook and find her.
I actually did try, and I thought I found her one time, but then when I tried to look back again, I couldn't find her. I think she moved to Florida. But we broke up because she, was getting, I don't know.
What?
She got mad at me, and then she wanted to come over my house. And I was.
She wanted to come over my house.
Come over my house.
She wanted to come over to my house.
Come over my house.
That's when she found the wall with the bucket next to it and all. Yeah.
The what with the what? Wait a minute. The what with the bucket? What?
The lotion?
The little well he had in his face with the bucket. And
it puts the lotion on its skin.
So she wanted you. You know what happened? She was frustrated sexually. That's what happened, and she wanted you to take care of her.
Probably. I forget what it was.
Are you taping this phone call, James?
No. Somebody's trying to call me on the other line.
You're not allowed to tape a phone call, okay? Yeah, I know. It sounds. Get rid of him, Garrett. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. That's bullshit. That's that sound that a spy taping device makes.
Wiretap.
How dare he? So she was frustrated by the relationship.
Yeah, there was some fight we got into, and then she was like, I want to come over to your house and talk about it, and I didn't want her to come over because we always just hung out at her house because my dad kind of likes to kid people. And
so your dad would have gone, hey!
Like, he knew I was going out with her and that she was deaf and stuff, but I didn't bring her around my dad.
Come on. He wouldn't have said anything.
Oh, yes, he would have.
He would have?
Oh, yes.
Your dad would have said something about a girl's inability to hear.
Like thinking that it was not in a mean, cruel way, thinking it's a joke, but he's the only one that thinks it's funny. And everyone
That's what Hitler said. Hitler said, I didn't think they were going to, I was kidding. Sure. All of them. They said it. Sure. Kidding.
Yeah, he likes to point out the differences of people.
President of the Confederacy. Kidding. Just kidding. Jefferson Davis. It's a big joke. I don't know why this war started. This is nutty. Silly. Now, here would be a great one to do to a deaf girl. She comes in, she sits down, and your dad should light a match and put it in front of her eyes.
Can you hear that?
Oh, boy. You think somebody is now on some sort of special computer where they can hear this show and they're
someone's
they can't
typing it out to them?
something. I don't know. Is that next? That could be next.
I figured deaf people just skip radio altogether.
Well, it's a good idea.
Right? Like, why even bother?
Yeah, you made me think about it just for a second. Let's go to Greg of Savannah, Georgia. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Jay, I couldn't help but laugh at the irony of you commenting on the inane conversations that take place in bars when that's what that whole show that you were on was built around.
No, it wasn't. The show was built around comedy writers writing funny stuff about a bar. I've been into a million bars, and no, I mean, Cheers was about a bar, but it was humorous, and there was a beginning, a middle, and an end of the joke. I wish bars were like that. I'd go into them all the time.
I can give you an example of one episode where, as Sam and Diane are walking through the bar, George Wendt and the other guy, Norm, were speaking about the Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote, and then Sam and Diane go into their office, and they come back out a minute later, and it had transgressed the coyote as the Antichrist. So, the joke was, of course, that this inane conversation had gone on, even though...
Yes, but you know what? Those are fun. That would be fun.
That was fun.
You know who you hear? You hear guys like the guy Jim from Georgia that just called. There is a creep factor of these people that can sit in a bar and they drink and they will stay there for hours. And it's not just alcoholism. There is a creep factor in these people. And Cheers was able to take that. Yeah, it was great stuff. But Cheers was able to take that and make fun of it. But I would stay in a bar and talk about Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner all day. That I do.
All right, well, I'm getting rid of me. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Cheers was supposed to be like a real bar. What are you, nuts? Multi-million-dollar writers were writing that stuff. Yeah, you know what you ought to have when you go into a bar and you're just going to sit and drink? You have a guy like, Shuley at one end or Rodney Lee Kahn over there, and they write shit for you when you're in a bar.
Like a Cyrano de Bergerac kind of thing?
That's exactly right. Would you like to just have a drink with us today, or 8 or whatever, or would you like somebody to write some interesting things for you to say? What do you charge for that? Well, it's an extra $15. Sure, yeah, why not? Let me try it. To Jay Thomas from the Vid Guy, you have discussed possum versus opossum. The story we did yesterday was this woman who was a famous ballet dancer, lover of animals, gets out of her car in Burbank, right there by Forest Lawn Drive, by Warner Brothers, and it's a very dark area at night. Gets out because she perceived an injured animal. Not a dog, not a cat, but it turned out to be a dead possum. The possum was dead. She was struck by 2 cars. And someone said, how did they know the possum was dead? It had those X's on its eyes.
Oh.
That's how they knew.
That makes sense.
Jay, regarding your correct usage of possum versus opossum. Possum is used to refer to a U.S. animal. Opossum is used to refer to their Irish relatives. All right. Thank you.
I thought he was serious at first.
Well, I did too. I didn't pre-read it. This comes from the Grey Witch. There's nothing worse in the entire world than a goddamn bunny killer. Is that Christina?
Yes. And it's not like I did it on purpose.
Well, oh man, look. When Garrett, who's going to hurt you? That one right there. If that guy, or I guess it's a guy, if he could get his hands on Christina, if he knew that she walks out of the building at about 6:08 tonight and heads toward the 7 train, if he knew that, and I believe the 7 train's over there at, 50th?
Actually, 50th? She takes the N on 49th and Broadway.
If he knew
I hope to God that somebody kills me so that the two of you can just...
If this guy sees her in that little red dress of hers and that kind of pizza ass swinging back and forth with those flip-flops, I'm telling you.
Well, he could probably size her up smoking a cigarette right outside at about 6:01.
And not an e-cigarette. Okay.
No.
This comes from Dean. A couple of weeks ago, you and Shuley were talking about Ellen DeGeneres. Gianna from that Friday morning show said that she didn't get it. I think I figured it out. Ellen DeGeneres has stolen Bob Newhart's act and personality. What? The old comic Bob Newhart? That's hysterical. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I don't get Ellen either. And I tell you what I watched yesterday. I was looking at a bunch of audio for video, and they had Pam Anderson. I think it was a year or so ago. She stripped in front of Ellen, and she has a fabulous body, right? And Ellen was very uncomfortable. And of course, Pam Anderson was doing it like to be sexy toward men, right? Christina, Ellen had some trouble. She didn't know where to look.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like, you stripping in front of Gary the intern back there. Mm-hmm. He can't do anything to you, but you're down to your bra and your panties. And why would you go like that?
I can't even imagine.
But you're on his show. It's the Gary the Intern talk show, right?
Right.
So you go, well, let me show you my new body, and you take your clothes off. Because Gary would want you, see, as a man. That's what Ellen wanted. She wanted a little piece of Pam Anderson pie. And you can see it. Please go online and enjoy it. Pam Anderson pie. Maybe you can bring it up. This comes from Correct Man. Dear Mr. Thomas, it behooves me to congratulate you and your Garrett Andritz. Ladies and gentlemen, your Garrett Andritz! If you played pro basketball, that's what we'd say about you. Under your tutelage, I've heard him progress from a monotone, monosyllabic assistant to a funny and clever on-air personality. My goodness. Sadly, the same cannot be said for Christina. I'm not sure which old adage is more important or appropriate. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, or you can't teach an old Palumbo new tricks. Wow. You should be proud of yourself for what you've done with Garrett. He has responded to your nurturing experience.
Thanks, Jay.
Wow.
The way that you act towards me is like my menstrual cycle. You're really nice.
I'm not acting.
Not acting, but
I'm
the
just
way
reading,
that you are towards... No, I'm just saying, though.
I'm just reading an email.
In comments from today with my pizza ass and all this, you're like my menstrual cycle. You're nice and easy, and then all of a sudden, boom!
Any
it's
chance
a bloody mess.
Your menstrual cycle has?
All right, let's go around the horn and guess what I'm doing.
Bloody mess, like a blood clot. My walls coming down.
Let's go to Gary the intern. Gary, after hearing that, what do you think I'm physically doing right now? Gary the intern, what am I doing?
Throwing up in your mouth.
Throwing up in my own mouth, a little puke in my back of my throat. What do you think I'm doing, Garrett?
Shooting ketchup everywhere.
Just ketchup is going everywhere in the room. What do you think I'm doing, Christina?
Playing with a tampon.
I'm doing flies to keep my breasts perky. All right, I'm doing my flies right now. There you go. Oh, thank you.
Wow. How they looking?
This comes from another Thomas. You had this monk on the other day. The monk. The guy that did 380 different records. That's
Correct.
right. He was a monk. Did he say he was a monk, or I said he was a monk?
He kept saying that's what monks do.
Uh-huh. That's what monks do.
I think he is a monk. I'm not sure.
He is a monk. And he had never ejaculated. Isn't that what he was trying to tell us? That it was, or he had stopped and hadn't done it for many, many years. The man was 57.
Correct.
So he hasn't ejaculated since 1979. My God. My God. That is sick. You should have Meanie get with that monk, because I could tell he was gay. Now, why is it that we got emails about this guy being gay? I never got that. I didn't understand it.
It just seems so obvious to me. He's doing anything he can to keep his mind off the real issue.
So you think because he decides to be celibate, it's because he doesn't want to be with another man and be saddled with all that includes?
He didn't really seem very proud of it. He just seemed ashamed and didn't want to discuss it. Ashamed of not ejaculating? Yeah, well, just I felt like he felt ashamed of himself, so he was trying to prove to himself that he's fine and that this is the way he wants it to be. And
if you make the choice to do that, you should be proud that you did it.
Yeah, you shouldn't say on a radio interview that you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Explain to other people. Maybe they'll...
Can I be honest?
Inspire somebody.
I called the Guinness Book of Records after the interview.
Yeah.
Alec Guinness? I said... No, not he's dead. Oh. I called that woman, the very rich heir. You know, she lives in the $80 million apartment in New York. Have you seen her, by the way?
No.
The heir to the Guinness fortune. She's like 35 years old. She's got $1 billion of her own money. She's got $1 billion, her own money. She just bought an $80 million apartment in Manhattan, and she's got a TV show coming and everything, and she's this hot-looking, like, 35-year-old woman, I think. She's the Guinness. She's so rich that her father said, well, you know, what am I going to do? It's her money. Wow. Now, she's got $1 billion on her own. Hell, it might have been $180 million. It's ridiculous, right? I called them yesterday, and I said, how could we, if we verified the record for a man who hadn't ejaculated since 1979? That would, and the guy on the other end of the phone went, Holy Christ! Holy Christ! Now you got something there, Lottie. That's how he speaks. That's what he said to me.
Was that Pete Opossum? Who you talked to?
Pete Opossum Guinness. Holy Christ! Now, you mean to tell me he's got all of the spermatozoa saved up into the testicles? Where the hell does it go? Like that. I swear to God, that's how he spoke. It was like talking to the guy who used to do Irish Spring commercials. Yeah. Anyway, you should get Kevin Meaney to get that monk to come out of the closet and to masturbate him, and then Garrett can witness a record-breaking cum shot. That is the other Thomas from Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you, the other Thomas.
Doesn't it have to leak out just somehow? It doesn't just stay there for 40 years?
My dad and my brother has the same thing, hemochromatosis, which is too much iron in the blood. There's no cure for it, but the treatment for it, older people usually get it. My dad got it young, and my brother got it young. And you bleed a person every month. And so that lowers their blood that has this iron in it because the organs are holding the iron, right? So as the fresh blood is made inside of the body and goes through it. So I always worried that I would get it, and maybe I should do prophylactic bleeding of myself, right? like give blood, but I don't like doing that, right? I'm not a big blood giver guy.
Can you give blood if you have this disease?
My dad couldn't, but my brother could. I don't know if they changed things or whatever, but it's iron-rich blood to the point of bad for you. My dad had also diabetes. His skin turned dark, and they called it bronze diabetes. That's what they called it.
Tan.
And so hemochromatosis, hemo meaning blood, chromo meaning, iron or metal, and then tosis, the overabundance of it or the disease of it or whatever. That's as best I can do for you in Latin and Greek etymology at this quick instance. But my brother has been bled to the point where he's almost anemic, Well, I went to the doctor and I said, should I bleed myself? He goes, you know what? Your urine and your liquids that come out of you, your blood throws stuff off, and your body it purifies itself.
Oh,
so the semen or whatever, it goes out of your body somehow through the chemistry of your body. That's what I understand.
Do they set off metal detectors when they walk through?
No, their blood it does not. No. Their bracelet that warns you.
The medical alert bracelet?
My dad used to wear that for the diabetes. My brother doesn't have diabetes. But Yeah, so the guy says, don't worry, your urine is could it be partially purified blood? I don't know. I have no idea. But so there you go. This comes from Darnell. I wish Kevin Meaney had been on the interview with the guy Liam who mooned the Queen. You know, he would have said your moon is over Big Ben or something. You know what? Don't. No, he wouldn't have. He would have said something funny. You're like the guy that called up that I'd hate to sit next to in the bar. Now you're emailing me boring shit. Please don't. This comes from Ken. Saw this trailer for this failed pilot of yours called Talker. You said your ass looked like a silverback gorilla. How about your taint look like a silver fox? Okay, now there's an email. There's a well thought out. I'm saving that one. If ever there's one of those books for me after I'm dead, Garrett, get all the emails together, would you? Just put them in one of these books for my family to read after I'm gone. This comes from Kyle. Dear Jay, I understand that you were very sad over the death of your friend, and you talked about how sad you were. As a man, it's always strange when other men cry. Women seem more natural in the crying, the noises they make, the weeping that they do. What sort of crier are you? I can't believe you said this because I'm going to tell you the truth. My buddy TK was also friends with my friend Mike Degree, which, by the way, I read in the paper today that they call the helicopter that he died in the Pinto of helicopters, the Ford Pinto of helicopters. Oh. Yeah. They've had some crashes, but they told them to do stuff to it. I don't know if they did that, but it's a helicopter used all over the world. But they said it was a he fell from less than 30 feet. So they said it should have been a survivable crash. And I spoke to his wife today. I mean, who knows what they're going to do, right? But, so that happened. The other day, and the sadness would come over us in waves. And, of course, I live in a small town, small community. The guy was very well known. So the sadness would come over us in waves, right? And my buddy TK knew him very well, right? And hung out with him like I did. Now, my wife would cry, his wife would cry, other people, his kids would cry and all. But when I cried, it was so loud and so upsetting that I've said this on the air that I tried to stay away from, people. So one time I'm in the kitchen and his face or something comes, on a piece of paper or whatever, and TK and I are standing there. I'm not getting sad now, so don't, think, oh, he's going to go into a, Lou Ferrigno thing all of a sudden. I begin to cry, and I put my head down on the counter in my kitchen, and all of a sudden, I hear out of the corner of my ear, that was TK crying, Garrett. It sounded like when the Three Stooges were snoring. Remember that when they were asleep? We sounded like the Three Stooges. I was going, and he was going, and it sounded like laughter. So I looked up, and he's all red-eyed, It's so weird. Men just don't, the noise we make is no good. It's not a good, when's the last time you cried, Garrett? Not cried at a TV. Cry? Like, someone passed away or something. Like, you made noise, I've cried like at a movie or something my kids did or whatever. But I mean when you break down, it's embarrassing. And because in the movies, by the way, when you see a man weep in the movies, not many people are good acting criers. Their noise is weird. I actually did a play once, and I finally did get upset enough to cry, and snot came out of my nose and everything else. And the other actor, this older, experienced actor, says, my God, if you're going to act like that on stage, I'm going to have to hug you or something. because it wasn't about me getting hugged, right? He said, I'm going to have to do something. And he was mad at me. I thought it was the most fabulous acting in the world. He was saying, basically, this is too much, right? Too much. But I sound weird. So have you cried over the death of a relative or animal or something?
I have cried over death of grandparents, I guess.
And what did it sound like?
Nothing. It wasn't audible.
Right, of course not. It wasn't audible.
I can't remember the last time I saw, but I definitely have. Yeah, like.
Oh yeah.
Catch your breath.
Now, Christina, do you think that women sound better crying because they have more practice at it? Not that it's conscious, but when a woman cries, very seldom do I see a woman cry who goes like this, like all of a sudden, and it's like, oh my God, what's that? They kind of know how to do it. Would you agree with that as a female?
I don't agree with that because when we're really crying, it's an ugly face and it's a lot of liquids and blotchiness.
It's the sound, not the look.
Well, that
I know the
too.
look is ugly.
Well, no, we're sweeter about the sound. Yeah,
a little bit, I think, because you've cried more.
It has nothing to do with practice. We're just more sensitive and sweeter.
No, I think if you do it more, I think if I had acted in more things where I had to cry, I think, and maybe I'd had more things happen, I think I would have a cry that you accepted. This is sad. He's
it depends.
Weeping.
Because girls cry sometimes to feel better also, and sometimes that's the really powerful cry that we'll never even let you see, which doesn't sound good at all.
When you're crying and your kids say, Mom, why are you crying? And the mother goes, because I'm happy. Because I'm happy, Bill.
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Wow. My God. Tomorrow morning, we're going to give away 2 Bruce Springsteen tickets on the Howard Stern Howard 101 channel. Mm-hmm. We should have somebody do an exact imitation of that to win the prize. Who is that idiot? Who is that?
It's a guy on intervention.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We ought to have it. We're having a trivia contest or something, but we ought to have that right there. We ought to use that to get in to go into the finals. Okay? You do the crying first, okay? And then we'll get like 4 or 5 people, and then we'll do the trivia contest. Ask him if we can do that.
I'll say.
And our judges we'd have to decide. So yesterday, this comes from Jones. Yesterday, you had a caller on who was an embarrassment to people of all colors, talking about beating, spanking, slapping kids around. Then you began to talk about negotiating with them. Believe it or not, I am a child psychologist, and I work with children who have been beaten, abandoned, and I've worked with kids who've been talked to. Talking to kids and negotiating with them will create the adults that we have all become. Yes, we'll be selfish. Yes, we'll be expecting people to give us special treats and tributes. But that's the way you function in society. Wow. The reason why some people in this country have a difficult time adjusting is that they were raised by getting smacked. And they were raised with fear instead of getting prepared for adulthood. To prepare for adulthood, you make deals with yourself, your bosses, and your coworkers all the time. You're not beating people up at your job. You can't slap them at work. You can't call them stupid. You can't say they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You have to negotiate with them. So you're correct. Treat your kids like the adults they're going to have to deal with later in life. Wow. Thank you, Jonesy. I didn't know I was saying all that. Did you, Garrett? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I got all that.
Really? From just that one thing to negotiate. I didn't know. This comes from Ed. I'm a truck driver. Look forward to hearing the show. The best ones are just with you, Christina, and Garrett. Why don't you have pictures on the website? Why can't we get an 8x10 glossy of Christina? Christina, all you have to do is get them, print them, and people will want them. And they'll put them up in their offices and stuff. I'm correct about this. Why are you laughing?
Because it's something totally off the charts for me.
Why? You're on the radio. There are people out there listening. It's what they do. They like to see your face and see your picture, and you write something funny, and they go, someone says, who's that? Oh, this is this woman I listened to on a radio show. You know, that's all.
All right. I'll get a picture taken with a phone in my hand.
You know what? Well, yeah, answering the phone with glasses or something like an old operator.
Get the cleavage going, too.
No, wait a minute. Yeah. Go get a Photoshop. You know those old crank telephones, Garrett, on the wall? Mm-hmm. Photoshop that in right by her cleavage so that the little speaker's right by one of her boobs with the phone, and wear glasses. It'll be hysterical.
She wears glasses now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep.
Unbelievable. The guys right now are going, oh, my God, and she wears glasses? That's what it is. And she wears glasses? Her big pizza ass, and now she wears glasses? It's too much. It's too much for me. Christina.
What?
No, this is this. Oh. Here we go. Sometimes I have to turn you off, though, when Kevin Meaney is on. His singing kills me. He's the worst singer I've ever heard. Whether you thought he was gay or not, if he sang one of those songs 25 years ago, there would be no doubt. You're right. We all knew it. He didn't know it for a long time, and his wife apparently didn't know it either. But everyone I ever met that knew him as a comic, we all thought he was fabulous, but we all thought he was, gay, so. And finally, Jay, please retell the story of your wife's adventure with the pot brownies. The muscle relaxers and the bourbons. That was me. I did muscle relaxers and bourbon and spit up bile. No food came up. None. I had eaten a big breakfast and everything, and no food came up. I might have even had a little sandwich, at noon. I don't know where the food went. I have no idea. But when it was time to throw up after the bourbons and the muscle relaxants kicked in, it was like I felt like when you catch a fish and its stomach comes up through its mouth, or you're trying to take the hook out and you've got all of its insides coming. Nothing would come up. And then a buddy of mine, very out of context here and out of character, gave her a brownie. She thought it was a snickerdoodle, Garrett. It looked just like a snickerdoodle.
Ooh, those are good.
And so she looked at it and thought, oh, a snickerdoodle. And she said the packaging and everything looked like a snickerdoodle.
Didn't smell?
She said, it had an unusual flavor. That's what she kept saying. An unusual flavor.
Did you see the video I sent you of the grandpa smoking weed for the first time?
No. Does it have noise on it?
Yes. And
okay. All right.
He gets a medical marijuana card because he's taking too many pills and he doesn't want to take pills anymore.
And he's never smoked before.
So they give him a bowl.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I'll take a nice bowl. And he puts the weed in there, and he tries to smoke it like a crack pipe. Like he lights underneath the bowl, and he's lighting it and suck it, and he does it like 6 times. And he's like, I'm not getting anything. It's so hilarious. And he's like,
how come no one helps him?
I don't know. They're just taping him. It's like some documentary about it.
Okay, well, we'll hear that next. How long is it? How long does it run?
It's like 3-4 minutes.
We'll hear that one next, and we'll continue talking. And, of course, Storm Large, who sang our favorite new song, My Vagina is 8 Miles Wide, is coming up in a few minutes. Every song you play is by Storm Large. What do you like? In love with her?
She's on the show. It's just weird.
Well, we've had a lot of people that sing. You're really into her, aren't you?
I just find it so weird that after these nice songs, she has a song about her vagina being 8 miles wide.
Well, she just sings the words, that's all. It's like, outlaw country. Some of those guys have, smash country records, and then they have filthy dirty ones. Same deal. It's like when Led Zeppelin sang a ballad.
I guess so.
Well, it's true. They have this really quiet, acoustic guitar ballad. And you go, what? It was like, Led Zeppelin. All right. She's good, though. Very good. And she won some sort of TV competition.
No, she made it
finalist
right before the semifinalist, I think.
Before we hear the old man trying to light up, these two guys that are afternoons in L.A. at this #1 AM talk right-wing kind of a station, John and Ken, they were suspended because of insensitive and inappropriate comments about Whitney Houston. Just got this. The remarks in question said of how people in Houston's life likely dealt with her decline. She's been cracked out for 20 years, and we heard how obnoxious she was at these parties. She was doing handstands. She was babbling like an idiot, running around. She's a mess. She's been doing it for 20 years. So how much of a pain in the ass do you think she was? Can you imagine you're Clive Davis, who is this famous producer, and she has not had her head screwed on right for 20 years, and at some point you're just sick of it, and so is everybody else in the industry, all of her friends and her hangers-ons and everybody she knew and had to deal with her. It's like, Jesus, here comes the crack hoe again. What's she going to do? Oh, look at that. She's doing handstands next to the pool. Very good, crack hoe. Nice. After a while, everybody's exhausted. Then you find out she's dead. It's like, really? Took this long? They got suspended. Now they've had to say, we've made a mistake, and we accept the station's decision. We use language that was inappropriate, and we sincerely apologize to our listeners and to the family of Miss Houston. Boy, I'll tell you, I would have done the same. I know, I would have done the same thing. I would have apologized. These guys make millions of dollars. They are the #1 afternoon guys in L.A.
But they didn't say anything wrong. I mean,
they said crack hoe.
Okay, crack hoe, fine. But it wasn't a racial comment, and she,
it can be
crack and...
Absolutely. She's dead because nobody would stop her. Amy Winehouse is dead because no one would stop her. They needed to be, I don't know what, put away. What somebody said to me the other day, a buddy of mine in the record industry, maybe it was Van Halen, I don't know. Somebody that may have been overseeing them or something grabbed them and threw them in the Betty Ford Clinic for 6 months and said, do you want to have a career or do you want to be dead? And got them cleaned up, and, I'm sure they had, relapses and everything else. But no one could do it. And where is Bobby Brown in all of this? Many people say he was the one.
He's trying to get a pass into the funeral. They don't want him in there.
He's the one that many people say introduced her to the drugs. I have no idea. None whatsoever.
Yeah, but then she goes on saying how she's not addicted to anything but Bobby Brown. It's like, there are so many people in this world that have a problem and then they deal with it. They clean themselves up for the better of themselves and their family because they wanted to do it. Some people just don't want to do it. Just because they're famous doesn't mean that they're not one of those people.
I mean, they didn't say something like, she's starring in a new movie called Body Bag. Didn't say that. That's a joke, at least.
They
didn't say anything like that.
Does anyone ever in radio just get suspended? Don't they just suspend you until...
If your ratings are bad, they get rid of you. And they blame it on something you said that you probably said for years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, what's black, lies on the floor, will always love you, and has white stuff around its nose.
Would that be Whitney Houston?
No, a border collie.
Oh, wow. Sounded like Whitney Houston.
Well, yeah, I could get in trouble for that. You know, all I'm saying is "We'll Always Love You" is in there.
So do you think they get fired?
No, these two? Oh, no way. They are number one in the afternoon in L.A. They're huge. They're big. They never get fired. No. They've apologized. I'm sure the guys, the general manager, the program director is going, oh, yeah, we had to do this.
Any chance it's just a publicity stunt?
No.
They were going to go on vacation. Let's suspend them. We get some publicity, and they can
Maybe. That's an old bit.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a cool bit. And that worked, I bet.
Do you think that they believe that they made a mistake, though? I mean, to go out of your way to say it after...
Probably crack-ho. The word crack-ho was the mistake. They could have said all the other stuff, but crack-ho, puts it into the, you don't... Listen, I know tons of crack-hos who are white, but the word ho is a black pronunciation of crack whore. So...
What?
It is.
No, it's no.
It is.
You
in that certainly among
be a hoe.
These guys are in their 50s. Among their generation, crack hoe is more black than white. Do you not think?
But what were they calling Amy Winehouse? I mean, she was getting the same kind of backlash, wasn't
Nobody
she?
said,
a drunk hoe? No, nobody called her a wino.
They didn't say, look, we decided to call our penises Whitney because they go stiff in the bath,
No, they didn't say that. That would probably get them suspended.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
Do you think she defecated in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out of every orifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's got to come like rushing out of your nose because everything just shuts down.
Mm-hmm. All comes out. Couldn't have been nice in there. And who knows? I have my, idea of what her deal was. I think she, I think she has this, secret, but I heard that years ago. It's all, hearsay evidence and everything else. And no, I'm not as appreciative of alcoholism and of cocaine addiction being an incurable disease. And I have friends, doctors, pals, everybody that, I said this to the other guy the other day about the guy that has the swimming pools, right? And you see it on Celebrity Rehab, the hot tubs and all of that. Mm-hmm. Fucking waterboard their asses. I'm not joking. Slap their asses around. I mean, you've ruined people's lives. You're close to dying. You've left debris. You've left children, ex-wives, parents, all of your money. And I'm going to get in the fucking hot tub? No. Waterboard your fucking ass, okay? Pull a Clockwork Orange, tie your ass in a chair, and put that thing on your eyes, okay? That's what you do to them. I mean it. Yeah. Look, made Bin Laden guys talk. Song that started it all from Storm Large.
All of my life I've never fit, but I won't complain and I won't quit. I am enormous, get used to it. Everyone tells me I'm too much. Maybe it's just you're not enough for me. Can't you see? I'm the kind of woman I'm supposed to be. Hey, my vagina is 8 miles wide. Absolutely everyone can come inside. If you're ever frightened, just run and hide. My loose.
It goes on
I'm
forever.
a whore. This is a metaphor for my superfantastically mystical feminine goddess core. And I hate it when women make that noise. That we don't need daddies, men or boys. Even the hardcore dykes love cock, shaped, sex, my vagina, it's universal, like a penis, but reversible. Come on in, the water's fine. It's not my vagina, it's our vagina. My vagina is 8 miles wide. Come in, come in, come in. That's how you get pregnant. Echo, 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 whoa, 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 just the boys. My vagina is 8 miles wide.
Everyone inside. I love it. If you're inside, just run and hide my vagina.
My vagina is 8 miles wide. Absolutely everyone can come inside. If you're ever frightened, just run and hide. My vagina is 8 miles.
Wow.
It makes me want a flash mob with just a lot of organized, choreographed dance. Up the street with a massive amount of people.
Cool. Storm, welcome to the show. Storm Large. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, how are you guys?
Well,
we're big fans.
Garrett played all your other stuff, or a lot of it today, and it was, you know, the in and out one, the one about the OCD penis, is my favorite. I want to be in there, I want to be out there, I want to be in there, I want to be out there. That's a good one.
Absolutely.
But then the rest were these incredible love ballads. Who wrote My Vagina is 8 Miles Wide?
Guilty. That was my fault.
Wow.
Perfect. It's the best song.
And then, of course,
You're welcome.
The video has you riding the horse, and you get off the horse and you pee next to it, don't you?
Yeah, well, the horse started it. So
the horse started the peeing, so you peed. You know, you very seldom see a really attractive woman like you are, who is this bawdy and interesting, and that you have this fabulously trained voice. It sounds like it. So it's almost like I thought they were going to say that you came out of a comedy troupe, but you're really more of a punk rocker than anything. Didn't Playboy call you the punk goddess or something?
yeah, when I lived in San Francisco, I did a show called Live Nude Bands at the Fillmore. This is when I was young and had way more collagen, and I played. It was like a nudist kind of situation where the last band who headlined has to play naked. So we played naked, and I played with this giant purple merkin. You know what a merkin is, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Pubic toupee. It was fantastic. It was made out of horrible clown wig. So the people in the back thought I was of Mediterranean descent because it was like this shaggy triangle covering my abdomen. It was awesome.
Now,
but I don't know. Playboy got a kick out of that.
Now there's a show on called Portlandia, and the woman in it is, I believe, a punk performer out of, or maybe not even punk, but a singer out of Portland. Do you know her? I don't know her name. I apologize.
Carrie Brownstein. Yeah, Carrie moved to Portland, I want to say 10 years ago, maybe a little more, but she's originally from Washington. She was from the Bikini Kill Rock Stars, kind of feminist punk movement out of the Northwest.
Are you going to be on Portlandia?
I don't think so. I'm not cool enough.
Really? I think it's okay. I don't think it's the greatest show, but I appreciate the effort and all that. But so when you sang 8 Miles, and by the way, go to stormlarge.com. What is the date today? Is it the 16th today?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you in San Francisco tonight?
I am. I'm playing in San Francisco tonight at the Red Devil Lounge.
And will you be singing 8 Mile? My Vagina's 8 Miles Wide. Is that part of your?
Oh yeah, I'm held hostage by my giant vagina at this point, because if I play a show, I don't play that song, there's a pack of angry lesbians.
But then when you go to Peoria, Arizona, they might arrest you for that. That state is nuts. Okay?
You know, you would think so, but you'd be wrong, actually. There's a lot of grandmas who sing that song very happily and excitedly all over the country. I mean, in fact, even in France, I was on tour with a band called Pink Martini, which is a very kind of conservative little mini orchestra, and they play old Hollywood standards, and I wear a dress, and I totally behave. We're in the middle of France somewhere, and these lovely girls came and asked for an autograph, and in broken English said, 8 miles wide? 8 miles wide? Like in the middle of the countryside in France. So my vagina just spread like wildfire.
Isn't it amazing, though, you can sing songs that have to do with love or, addiction or, whatever it is, and yet you put vagina and 8 miles wide, and it's a worldwide smash.
It was, it's weird. When I finished the song, it was one of those things where the chorus was just kind of going through my head, and it came up as sort of a fuck you to exclusionary feminism, like feminists who hate men, who are kind of like their idea of feminism is excluding men from everything, like spelling the word women with a Y to get the men out of women. And that infuriates me. That's just another form of bigotry and another form of fear-based exclusionary politics, and it's bullshit. And so that was sort of a phrase that was going through my head that was sort of a fake yodely folk song for that kind of feminism, and then it turned into a song sort of over time, just out of my own jackassery that goes on in my head. And once it was done, I realized that it was pretty catchy because I'd sing it to anybody, half of it, and they would be singing it the next day. So
no, you can't get it out of your head. You whistle it after a while, And they go, "What's that song?" And I go, "Oh, my vagina's 8 miles wide." That one,
I've been singing it for 3 days.
Yes. Now, of course, are you still with the group, the Balls, or are you just on your own these days?
I have one ball left. I am monotesticular these days at this point. But I have one ball. But the band, we don't really have a name for the band quite yet because it's just sort of my band. So we call it, the Crazy Band, one ball.
You know what? The band name ought to be, not vagina, 8 miles wide. That's all you need.
Could be, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't want to.
You don't like that, Garrett?
8 miles.
You're banking too much on the one song.
No, but I wouldn't say anything after that. Well, they would never know. All right. Now it says here you are. Speaking of, feminism, sexually omnivorous. I love that term. So if you met me and Christina, let's say, you would decide which one of us you would want to chow down on.
Well, it's kind of like the Wikipedia has me as sexually omnivorous. Really, the term is opportunistically omnivorous.
Right.
So who's ever easy and tastes good.
Wow. Well, that would be me. That would be. I don't know about the taste good, but the easy would be right there.
Well,
I would put mint. I'd put mint jelly all over myself.
Like a lamb chop. I love it, Jay.
My God, like a lamb chop. I love that. So now, of course, as we read about it, you don't just get here being happy-go-lucky. It looks like here your mother was pretty nuts, right? Pretty insane, right? Oh, yeah. And your name, Storm Large. That's an odd name too. Is there another name that goes with it? Is there a third name?
Anything.
What?
No, but Storm Large is my real name. On my birth certificate, it is Susan Storm Large. But,
Susan
my
Storm
name was
Large.
Susan.
Yeah. So your mom's name.
But nobody ever called me Susan.
Yeah, Storm Large. And then, did you write? Is this from a book? How did we get all this on the internet about you? The heroine.
Her new biography.
Oh, your new biography.
I wrote a memoir. Yes, my memoir came out in January.
What's the name of that?
Crazy Enough.
Crazy Enough. Now, do we have some heroin addiction in there also?
Oh, we've got sex, drugs, rock and roll, all kinds of great stuff is in there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, when you see someone like Whitney Houston, come bubbling up there dead, could that have happened to you?
If I had at the time when I was using, if I'd had that much money and that much power, and I had been famous for that many years, where you lose grip of reality and pretty much anything you want and desire will be made available to you, I might have died.
Yeah, because sometimes you couldn't have gotten. There would be times you didn't have the money for the amount of drugs it would have taken to do you in. I've said this to my kids. Be so successful that it ruins your life. That's what I tell them.
Well,
there you go. That's something to live by right there. People go, how successful was it? It ruined his life. He was rich. He was famous. He was everything. Because when you sort of get successful, you still have to be sober enough to try and get the next gig.
Right.
They're not just booking you whether you can stand up on stage or not.
Well, I don't totally agree that success necessarily creates monsters out of people. I think it exacerbates anything that's inside of you already. If you're an addict, they say in recovery, they say sometimes the worst thing that can happen to an addict is a stroke of good luck. And, because, look at Dave Grohl. Dave loves a beer. He still smokes cigarettes, but he's a very responsible father of two. He's the biggest rock fan around, and he's just a down-to-earth guy. He just wants to play music. Then there are people who are desperate to stay famous. They just need to stay famous because that's all they know. That's their identity. And those people tend to be a lot more self-destructive, like the Lindsay Lohans and and unfortunately, Whitney Houston, I think there was a lot more going on behind the scenes with her.
Thank you. You're right. No, you're absolutely correct. I know it.
Yeah.
So. And, of course, did you really go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts?
I really did.
Wow. That's a big deal.
It was a really good school. It taught me really quickly that I was a horrible actor and a better singer.
And Portland, Oregon is known as the heroin homeless capital of the world. You realize that, right?
No, it is not.
It is true. It is. One of my sons goes to Puget Sound, and they go to Portland for their heroin.
Well, there is a lot of heroin in the Northwest still because unfortunately, it's cheap, it's accessible. We have a lot of meth up there too, but I had my struggles when I was living in San Francisco.
Yeah. Now, so meth, the thing about the meth is it always makes your teeth fall out. So no matter how much fun the high is, you get those pimples, your teeth fall out. Yeah.
You scratch. And that's the thing, I am so fucking vain. I am so vain that I can't drink too much because it makes me gain weight. And when I was doing heroin, if I looked like some of the supermodels who were super hot and doing like the heroin chic thing, I think if I looked like that, I would have completely killed myself. But I was fat, swollen, scratchy, matted hair. I just looked like crap. So I was quick to get off the drugs because I wanted to be pretty. Pretty much.
Now, when you were Balls, who would you open for?
Oh, let's see. I played with Hank 3, played with Nina Hagen, played with, I know there were some great bands we played with.
Everclear one or something?
Everclear?
Who? Everclear. Half my band was in Everclear. I think I opened for them.
Do you still have a band member from Four Non Blondes?
Oh, yeah. Linda Perry, who moved to L.A. and became an amazing, super successful songwriter. But I used to play with her ex-guitar player, Shauna.
Oh, not anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's you know what? I know we found you because of, My Vagina's 8 Miles Wide, but then we like all the other stuff, and so go to stormlarge.com, San Francisco tonight at the Red Devil Lounge, and then heading for Arizona, and then back to Portland for the next little while. Storm, thanks. It's fun.
I'll be at South by Southwest, too. Are you guys going to be down there?
We wish.
You mean in Austin, Texas?
In Austin, Texas.
I have been to that, but no, this company doesn't. they don't like paying us at the end of the week, much less extra money to fly places and do things. Friday really angers them. Yeah. Friday at 5, when they hand their check, they go, "Here it is," like that. So go ahead, it dropped on the floor. Get it. Get on all fours and get it.
Oh,
like
God.
Storm Large tonight, San Francisco, and we'll continue playing your song as our theme sometimes. But Garrett did play all of your other stuff.
I'm just so amazed how different they are.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be a comedian songwriter thing, and none of the other songs were funny, but in a good way, you know.
Well, I do have a couple that I haven't recorded yet, but I don't stick to one theme because I'm a bit schizophrenic. But I'll send you something that's funny, I promise.
I have an answer song coming. Remember the old days that were answer songs? My penis is 8 miles long. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's very lucky for you if your penis is 8 miles long, because you won't be able to hear the people laughing at the other end of it.
Well, this interview is at an end. When the guest when the unfunny guest gets funnier than the main host, the interview always comes to a roaring end. All right.
Thank you guys so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Storm. You were really good. We loved the song. We like all the stuff. And go to San Francisco and see her. Go online and make Storm Large a part of your shuffle. You know, in your iPod shuffle. That's kind of
sounds so hip.
I'm very hip. Shuffle it, baby. All right, thank you, Storm.
All right, baby.
See you. Bye. Wow. She's sexually omnivorous, Christina.
She's a cool chick.
Yeah.
You and I, here's what we would do.
I want to hang out with her.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I'd hang out with her too. And then
I don't want you there. You're going to ruin it.
No, wait a minute. You know what I'd say at the end of the night? Hey, $20 says it's me she ends up with. And you would have to try and get her to...
Yeah, who doesn't want to wind up with, yeah, bitch, yeah, bitch.
Oh, that's not how I talk.
Yes, it is. Get over here, bitch. Yeah,
no.
bitch.
I say loving things. Your eyes, I would look at you and go, your eyes,
bitch.
They're like pools. Cesspools.
Of my semen, bitch.
Oh, my God. You don't say things like that. That's porno talk. Please.
No, please.
Porno, disgusting.
Did you hear Gary Carter has passed away?
Oh, my God. The baseball player.
Correct.
What was wrong with him?
Catcher.
What happened?
Cancer.
Ooh, sorry to hear that one. He was good.
He had brain tumors.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't doing too well. He was on the back nine.
What a metaphor.
He was on the back nine.
He finished his 19-year career with .262 average, 324 home runs, and 1,225 ribbies.
Thanks, Elias.
RBIs.
Ribbies.
Hey, Ron Jaworski has been eliminated from Monday Night Football.
For real?
Yeah, he's
You
done.
sound happy.
You don't like him? Well, it's going to make Gruden... I like Jaworski on there. He is still with ESPN. They gave him a new 5-year contract, but they took him off of Monday Night Football. He is going to do the pre-show Sunday night and the pre-show Monday night, but he's not going to be on it anymore. And
did they say why?
They basically told the truth that, John Gruden is the guy.
Oh, and so they're not replacing him. They're just getting rid of him. And
Tirico, Boomer Esiason said that he and Mike Tirico didn't get along, and that's why Boomer was thrown off of Monday Night Football. Well, I got to tell you, he was terrible. He was awful, Boomer Esiason. And not Mike Tirico. Who was the other announcer? You're the what am I talking about?
Tony Kornheiser?
No.
Miller?
The original Monday Night Football announcer that's now at NBC.
Al Michaels?
Al Michaels is who he had trouble with. But Tirico and Gruden and Jaworski, they had a great time.
Yeah, I felt like they were good chemistry.
They were great friends. And Jaworski used to talk like that. Remember what he used to do? Well, you know what I think. I think with it. And I would think, man, you got to relax. So when he was on the show, I really liked him. I'm sorry he's gone. He was...
he just has a weird style of talking. He talks like he's narrating a Dateline show or something.
But he got loose with Gruden and stuff. I just think that they figured Gruden is just the... look, they want big. They want the new John Madden, and they think they found him. So
maybe he got fired because he cursed on air.
He did say,
"Oh shit, who can catch that?" or something.
No, they let the guy go. Yeah, he let the guy go down the sideline. You know, I hope not. In New Mexico, they're hoping to keep drunks off the roads by lecturing them before they get behind the wheel at the urinals in the bar. The state paid, I don't know how much money they're talking about, $21 million or something? No, $21 each for 500 talking urinal deodorizer cakes. The cake talks. You piss on the cake.
It tells you not to drive drunk?
Yeah. In bars and restaurants across the state. Oh, we have got to hear the talking urinal cake. I got to hear it. Hey. Hey, I see you're pissing on me. Is that booze I smell? You better not drink and drive. Like that. Oh, man. How about when you pull your penis out, the deodorant cake starts to giggle? That's so weird. How would you like to be? Poor women. Christina, you wouldn't even know where it was coming from, the sound. You'd be squatting to pee. And, you know. Here's something that'll crack you up. What? You know, I worked my first job in New York, and they would always have these program director, switches and stuff. And the ratings would be bad, and they'd fire people, hire people. But I did pretty good in the morning, so I was kind of immune to, getting canned. But I'd have to put up with the new program director, right? So they hire a guy, he comes from San Diego, and he brings this assistant with him. And the assistant was a nice-looking guy, and it was a little bit effeminate, and I started calling him Squat to Pee. That's what I called him. And I said it to everybody. I even said it on the air. I was talking to one of the programmers, Squat to Pee, and this guy, he's out there somewhere. So his really good-looking sister comes to visit him. I mean, she was gorgeous. She looked just like him. And I, hit on her a little bit, and I think her brother goes, he calls me Squat to Pee. And so that was the end of, we couldn't. She ended up marrying his boss. And he ended up marrying the general manager. Oh, it was incestuous. It was crazy incestuous. And now, of course, that left me out of the loop, okay? I was unceremoniously removed, and I had to go off to Hollywood. Panasonic will halt domestic production of VCRs. They will not make them anymore.
They haven't done that yet?
No.
Who's buying a VCR?
Remember I told you last night I went to a movie theater, movie store, and they were selling only VHSs of Buzz Lightyear.
Panasonic said it stopped producing VCRs for its domestic market only at the end of last year. Once they run out of inventory, they will stop sales of VCRs in Japan and the world. For those of you listening, if you don't know what a VCR is, ask your grandparents. It's unbelievable. Yeah, VCR. I still have an old TV that has a VCR and a
combo
in it. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Then I have a thing that will make a DVD out of a VCR. I have all this equipment. Don't know how to work any of it. I've tried. I get such a headache. I go on my computer screen and I have to type in all. Oh my God, I got a headache and it's over. So I have VCRs in my office with all kind of acting stuff. It would cost me thousands of dollars to hire someone to sit there and do it. So I can't do it. Michigan man pleaded no contest to a sodomy charge involving a sheep and does not want to register as a sex offender. Jeffrey Hayes says the state registry is to keep track of people who have committed crimes against humans. But the Calhoun County Circuit Court Judge Conrad Sint, S-I-N-D-T, said that Haynes, at his sentencing hearing, once he's released, he has to register as a sex offender. Wow. He's getting 2.5 to 20 years for banging a sheep. He ought to register as an animal lover. I mean, he isn't really dangerous. I mean, if you looked in your neighborhood and you saw that he was a sheep fucker, Christina, would you be frightened to see him at the dog park?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I would.
No. You don't look anything like a sheep. Nothing.
Doesn't matter. He's got to say that could just lead to other things. It's a gateway to my Maltese.
That is one of the funniest things you've ever said. Sheep fucking is a gateway to your Maltese. This is what I would do. I go, hey, see that guy over there? Yeah, that's Jeffrey Haynes. I go, really? The sheep fucker? And we go like the, bah, bah. We drive him nuts. Hey, Garrett, what's for dinner tonight? Huh? No, across the dog park. Hey, Garrett, what are you serving tonight? Lamb chops. All right. How about this? Lamb butt.
And he's just like, no.
A Japanese man pulled a knife in a convenience store and threatened to kill the store owner unless he got the choicest sushi meat. Unemployed man barged into the city of Osaka in Japan and had set fire to his apartment already. And then he couldn't eat the kind of sushi he was used to on his state benefits, so he said he needed the expensive sushi meat. And he held a knife out. The guy, gave him the sushi meat or whatever, and then, of course, the police subdued him. The problem with this is that a half an hour later you want to rob another convenience store. That's the problem. He turned right around, went right back. Tried to get that thing.
Yeah.
No more coffee in a Michigan prison. All Michigan prisons. They will save $250,000 to $500,000. No more coffee in state prisons for people in boot camps, correctional centers. No more coffee after March 1st. Wow.
Huh.
Attica! Attica! Are you kidding? There are people that can't live without coffee.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine a prison full of caffeine addicts with no caffeine.
Holy shit! First they stopped the marijuana, then they stopped the coke, they stopped the black tar heroin, and now this? I'm not sure they're going to make it, this poor group. What do you go to prison for? Let's go to
Cigarettes
Don.
Always stay around, though, no matter what.
Well, that's a legal drug, It's they don't.
Is coffee.
It's expensive though, but the prison doesn't pay for the cigarettes. You trade anal sex for cigarettes
right,
in prison.
You smuggle those in your asshole.
You sure do.
Is this a menthol?
Did someone say butt light? Don, that's one of my favorite old pornos. Butt light. Don of Oklahoma on VCR.
Hey, great
near
show, Jay.
you.
Like listening to you, man.
Yes, thank you, Don. Go ahead.
Hey, I got a question for you. I listened to you, and you got a lot of good advice, and I was kind of wondering how you would go about talking to your dad if you hadn't talked to him in over 25 years because you had sex with his then wife, which was my stepmom. And
wow.
I mean, any ideas about that?
Your dad had a woman and you screwed her, and your dad caught you, or she told him? What? Hello?
Of course.
What, he hung up?
No, his phone crapped out.
Well, I'll give the answer on the air. I don't know that you ever get forgiven for that one. I don't think you do. 25 years. What do you want to say to him?
Way to go.
I mean, I think there's some things that happen that it's never going to be okay, There were people in my life that were like my parents and from North Carolina. And I mean, literally, and I worked for them and they taught me a lot about radio and everything else. And I was making a lot of money, a ton of money, and I lent them a lot of money. And they lied to me. And they were going bankrupt. He told me it was to give me a percentage so my kids could go to college, and he wanted to be a part of their lives and all this. But they were very wealthy. I don't know how they lost the money. And so he dies. She declares bankruptcy and will never speak to me about it. I sued her all the way to the Supreme Court of North Carolina just to get the books to prove to me that they were really broke or whatever. And she didn't sign the papers and all this. I'll never speak to her again, ever. And at some point I'll be able to write off the loss. I'm going to tell you what it was. You won't believe it. It was $300,000. And it was my kids' college fund and everything else. And this guy was like my dad. It was like my father. And I just moved this money from one account to theirs, and it was going to pay me 8%, which was a huge return at the time. And they bullshitted me. They were going on. They didn't say, "Oh, we're almost broke and we need." I'd have figured some amount to give them. It wouldn't have been that amount. I'd have helped them or whatever. It was terrible. I'll never speak to them again, ever. And I'm going to be able eventually, I guess, to write off the loss against gains or whatever the hell you do or whatever. Never. And their daughter that I knew since birth, I don't give a fuck what happens to her. I don't care. I mean, I hate them. Can't stand them. And they were people I would turn to for advice all the time. So your dad will never fucking forgive you. Never. That's ridiculous. And it's, that's it. Christina, is there someone you'll never forgive?
Yes.
What did they do to you?
It was just a tumultuous friendship.
Stole a boyfriend?
No, but almost ruined, the wedding that was and all that stuff.
Your wedding?
Yeah.
Were they telling you not to marry the guy?
No, not at all. Just like a look at me kind of person.
Taking over your wedding?
Yeah, can't really handle somebody else having the spotlight.
And she was a part of the wedding?
She was a big part of the wedding.
And you'll never speak to her again?
Never in a million years.
Right. Garrett?
Lynn Samuels.
Really?
She's dead, Garrett. Rest in peace.
Nope.
She did something to you. She was the announcer here for those who may not know who she was. She did stuff to you that you can never forgive her for, even after she's dead.
Correct.
Is this about the Coke can?
I don't even know what that means, but sure. It was about everything. She was a horrible person, horrible to me, and I'll never forgive her. And then she was horrible to my replacement.
Absolutely lovely to me.
Only had her on the air, and I had a friend who knew her who said what she really was not a political person. She really was a consumer advisor on how to buy things and save tremendous amounts of money and how to look for bargains and stuff. Did you know that about her, Garrett, at all?
Yeah, because that's all she talked about.
Oh, on her show? That's all she talked about? Oh, okay.
Shopping and coupons, and then she threw out someone bomb. That's why they moved her to Stars.
Because she wasn't purely political.
Yeah.
Never forgive her.
Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, that's close to home right there, Christina. There's nobody, that I worked for. I had a friend of mine, and we went to New York, and he was going to be my producer, and he made a great amount of money, 6 figures. And he still had his other job working for a studio, and he just refused to be a producer. And it was embarrassing to have somebody who became inept. Then he started sleeping with a woman in the office, and we get a sexual harassment thing against this, right? And I said to him, what are you, nuts? First of all, you don't work, and you're going off all the time, to do some other job, even though we're letting you do this. You don't know how to produce. And then he starts with this woman. It was crazy. It was nuts. I'll never talk to him again, ever, as long as I live. And then we hired Art Sears, who I couldn't stand. How wrong was I about Art Sears, who I love? Totally wrong about Art Sears. They introduced, I said, this guy, he can't produce anything. But he replaced this guy as like a safe choice. Fabulous producer. Worked his ass off, all day long, all night, getting guests and everything else. Crazy. Well, I bet you we broke up. I bet you we made people think of someone they hate.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard when you ask me. Because I feel like I've definitely hated a lot of people at some point. But once you hate them and you forget them, you kind of move on and you don't think about them anymore. So it's hard to bring them back up.
Was it your first job with her at the station?
At Sirius?
Yeah.
Sort of. I did sports and stuff before.
Well, that's not good when you're breaking into this new arena and...
No, but she was fine at first. We were like best friends. She worked on the weekends. We came in on the weekends, and it was great and all fun. And she liked me so much, she decided to work 5 days a week because I would be there helping her. And then,
really?
Yeah. I mean, she was on Alex's. Her sister was on Alex's show, and she even said that no one really liked her.
Wow.
That's true. And we didn't even ask her to call in. She called in on her own.
Yeah, she was just...
Well, because she's a big liberal, right?
Who? Lynn?
Yeah.
But no, she was just saying personality-wise.
Yeah, she had some sort, I would assume, some personality disorder or something.
Well, she was like an agoraphobe. She never left her house. And
she also had the greatest quote ever. I had not... Maybe I just started at Sirius. And... George Bush was the president, when I forget when I guess he was elected in 2000, right? So I started Sirius in 2005. He was probably in his second term, whatever. And I'm reading Esquire magazine, and I was just making the deal to come over or whatever it was. And they asked Lynn Samuels, former WABC announcer, why she was going to go from a network radio to Sirius. And she said, I want to work someplace where I can call Condoleezza Rice a cunt. I was in a doctor's office or something, and this magazine was there, and I look around the room like I have got this secret bomb in my hand. And I read it again and again. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in print, this little quick, And I couldn't wait to get to Sirius after reading that, so... And, of course, I matter. Gotta talk like that. Jesus. What did she look like? Could she ever have been attractive? No? Was never attractive?
Maybe back in the day. We knew her when she was late 60s.
She never really cared about her appearance. That wasn't the thing for her.
Did she smell? Did she have an odor to her?
She was meticulously clean.
Cool, but that's good.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find some positives.
She had those crossover toes, though.
How would you see those toes, Garrett? And maybe there's more to the story than we know.
She wore flip-flops all the time.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how when they
I think the older you, when you get old, is the shorts and flip-flops, bad look.
Yeah, flip-flops are for the young.
You know what? There are entertainers also that should not wear shorts, and you see them all the time in the magazines. Like Jack Nicholson loves wearing shorts with the big snot. I was like, no, don't. Stop it. Wear a muumuu. Wear something, Don't, at a certain point, it's over. I walk around town with like a grocery bag and shorts and a T-shirt, and invariably my wife goes, are you kidding? You have any idea what you look like? You look like a homeless nut
it's better
with the
than
shorts.
Pajama pants that they wear around here. Like the SpongeBob pajama pants, and it's a grown man.
But no, he's not over 40 years old. That's under.
No, but still, those are bed
30s.
pants. They should be in the bedroom.
Well, you ought to go up to them and pull them down. They're easy to come down. That's what everybody ought to do.
I just
see somebody in PJs, you pull their pants down. That's sexual harassment now, but it's still a good one. All right, stay where you are. I see the phones have lit up at 888-4-102-102, and we still owe them some audio, don't we? Weren't we going to play?
Yes, the grandfather.
The grandfather smoking pot for the first time. And, of course, we haven't. We need to play the Whitney Houston tribute again.
Oh, yes.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
Couple of things going on. Stay where you are.
You played the game of point and laugh.
Here in love with this Storm Large, man.
I figured might as well finish out the show.
Yeah,
this is Fat Chick's Revenge.
All right, here we go. Good, Jared. She's good. Yeah. I like this kind of stuff, you know. It's like cutting edge, but her voice is so trained. I like that. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Let's go to we make sure we leave enough time for the old man smoking pot, okay, Garrett?
Okay.
Let's go to Mike of Hackensack, New Jersey. Yes, Mike, go ahead.
Hi, Jay. I got a two-part question for you. You're always talking about Love and War, how they'll never release it on DVD, or how come they play Designing Women on TV, but they won't play Love and War on TV?
Designing Women, you know, and Annie Potts moved from that and ended up replacing Susan Day on Love and War. It's because the producers of Love and War, Diane English and her husband, Joel Tchaikovsky, they wanted their own studio. They wanted to be their own studio. So instead of working at Paramount or Warner Brothers or whatever, they became this studio. And they made a deal with CBS as a studio. And I don't know if CBS cared or not, but the deal said that if there were any reruns of Love and War, there was some huge amount of money that had to be paid. It might have been $50 million or $25 million or some weird thing, because they started arguing, and and finally Les Moonves, who I'm sure you've heard Howard talk about over the years, right?
Yeah.
You know, he said to him, you know, you guys are fucking up or whatever. And Love and War was a hit TV show, and they canceled it, and they moved it all over the place, and they taught him a lesson. And part of the lesson is they can never sell that into syndication without giving CBS some huge amount of money. And Diane and Joel are the two cheapest individuals. This guy, Joel Tchaikovsky, tried to feed us food after a show once that had been out all day as prop food. I swear to God, it could have killed people. He said, go ahead, serve that at the after-show party, you know. And crazy weird stuff. So it'll never show. You can't buy it. You can't find it. It'll never happen because I think Moonves is driving that bus, and he's not going to give them a break so they can sell it into syndication. It's probably worthless now, but that's why.
But if they did show it, and they did sell, and would it mean any money to you?
Yeah, it wouldn't mean money to us, but more than that, what those shows meant, like if that show ran in reruns, we did like 70 shows, right? It would have helped our acting careers. It would have helped people go, hey, I was watching this Love and War rerun. That was a pretty good show, you know, because it runs so many times. It would have run on Lifetime probably or something like that. And so none of us got anything out of being on that show. I mean, we worked on CBS, but that was it.
No big paycheck for you.
It isn't a big. The reruns aren't a big paycheck because I didn't own a piece of it. We would have just gotten, you know, a few grand a year or whatever. When they make those deals, like I told you, I was in a big trailer once with Tim Allen, and his cut from his TV show was $90 million. One check, $90 million. Ted Danson and those guys, they own a piece of the show. They give them percentages, 5, 8, 6, 12%, whatever it is, worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. So that's how you make the money. Because when they sell it in the syndication, someone buys 3 years. Cheers sold for $300 million the first time it sold. It's probably sold for over $1 billion over the years. Mork and Mindy, I think, sold for $250 million. They get to run it for like, I don't know how many years. And then they run the advertising off against it. So you get to own it. And that's the big money. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Jay.
All right. Bye-bye. The residuals or small on the cable. They're not big. So, Garrett.
I think, yeah, we have just enough time.
The old man gets his marijuana pharmacy card, right? And the kids take him home, and it's time to light up.
Oh, hold on.
Time to light up. Boy, he's so hung, Christine, on this.
I need to take a quick peek at your recommendation.
So hung?
And then your California ID. Hung up. They're going to give you a tour of the facility, register you, and you'll be all set, okay?
My name's Larry Savage. I'm 66 years old. I just retired. And I have a wife, 41 years marriage, 2 kids, and 4 grandchildren. A few hours ago, I got my medical marijuana card from the doctor. Not a difficult exam, of course.
So, you're 66 years old.
Yeah.
You take a number of medications.
Yes.
And that was for back pain, anxiety, rage, depression, and high blood pressure. Is it for all of these that you want to use the marijuana?
You know, I take too many pills.
Have you ever used marijuana?
No.
Never?
No. I'd like a beginner's pipe.
A beginner pipe?
Yeah.
I'm all set now. I've been in a spiritual search. I've never smoked marijuana. I want to try to see how marijuana works for me.
I was dying.
I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm doing this right now.
Guys, pipe out.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
And he's lighting the bottom of the ball.
Burnt my thumb.
Burnt his thumb. Let's hear it.
And I'm holding it in, but I don't think I got much smoke.
Look at the bottom of the ball.
I don't think I got any.
Sounds like he's walking on sunshine.
Oh, yeah. He's smoking glass, right?
He's just smoking hot air, really.
Yeah.
You can see I'm not a professional.
No kidding.
I don't think that's the way I used to
Ready
smoke
for this, though.
pipe, because I did it one time. I'll try it the old pipe way. Maybe that'll work.
Wow. What did he do?
Jackpot.
He figured it out.
That's the way to make it work. Now I'm going to wait for the action.
He walks outside his apartment.
The noises are becoming, seems to me, louder. I can hear better. I guess that's the way of saying it. Feel mellow.
He's stoned.
41 years to my wife. She's a great woman. She knows what I'm doing. Does she like it? No, she was worried I'm going to leave her, but I'm not. And there's a statue of a guy talking to nobody out there. That's just something I noticed. In your imagination, you can make something of that big stump there. What it could be. It could be a lion laying on his back. It could be anything you want. My children, grandchildren, everybody knows what I'm doing. They don't necessarily agree. I have seen paintings like that.
The wife was afraid he was going to leave her for what? A tree?
All my life I worked.
Work
till you retire, 65. You're in a cast iron suit.
Right.
Now you got to break out of it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, there you go. Wow. Tomorrow morning, Howard 101, we have a couple of Bruce Springsteen tickets. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
On the telephone and say